We almost see no titties in movies anymore, and we only see dicks. Hey, anybody notice this? Yes, I love titties. Big old titties.
What's up, you slick bitches? We're back with the REKIETA, the Law Pope. What's up, baby?
And now I'm jealous.
Why? 'Cause I got sunglasses?
You got sunglasses on.
Yeah, I did it before we start. Like I did it in the back room.
Racism. I can't see the back room.
Yeah,
my sunglasses are like 10 miles away too.
Dude, Lofty made an AI generated version of me, and I had aviators on. And I was like, well, I got to wear those. And I wore my red tank top today.
I would have done. You mother.
I didn't know. We have to coordinate our dress.
Well, I would have worn a red tank top just to show off like how much bigger than you I am.
Oh, yes. Yeah. I don't want to be upstage now.
Right. Which I would have done by just not wearing pants. Like that's how we would have
done.
That's
for damn sure. That ain't even a joke. I'm not even joking right now. No, dude. Dude, tonight's gonna be wild. We're gonna talk about. I know you've heard about the goofy ass submarine, the Titanic submarine. So we're gonna talk about that. We're gonna have live updates as it happens. It'd be great.
Can we please do one thing with that submarine?
What's that?
Can we make fun of it?
Yes, that's the whole point.
Because, like, I hear you've been getting grief because they're like, no, there's 5 people I've never heard of on that submarine. How dare you? And it's like, well, I mean, they're probably already dead, so they don't care about the jokes.
Yeah.
I'm just wondering which one got eaten last and then which one was like doing the last eating. Because
so here's what's going down. So there's like a thing called the FADOS, FADDOSS, or something like that system that can go down 20,000 feet to retrieve said submarine. But it takes 24 hours to weld it to the ship. They only had 18 hours of air like 2 hours ago. Shit. So they're going to be pulling up a bunch of cold bodies. But if, say, like, you know, somehow they were able to get this info down to the submarine, you could keep like 2 of them be like, you know what, we're going to have to kill y'all asses.
Yeah.
Choke them out.
Yeah. You got to do it in like a nasty way. Like you got to do it so they don't sit there and go and like gasp it out. So you got to choke them, or you got to like put a sock in their mouth, or
just choke
put your butt on their mouth and fart into it until they die.
Yeah, dude, just choke them out, and then you have 40 hours of air.
Right,
you're good to go. You're saved.
Pretty
why is
good.
there 3 of these dead bitches? Just kill the less rich ones.
You know how they could have fixed this?
How?
You send women down. No, because have you heard about that? Did you read that bullshit? That it was is a recommendation to NASA and shit to send women as the first crew to Mars.
Yeah.
Because they have on average something like 18 to 20% less lung capacity. They require 30% less food. And they're like, hey, you need to store less, or you need to have less oxygen on the ship. You need to have less. Of course, the problem is not how much oxygen you have. It's how clean you keep it. But let's ignore that. And you have to have less food and shit. So you have more room for fuel and other supplies. And it's like, oh, okay, just put women on the damn submarine.
And the one glaring fact is also so they would avoid having sex with each other. And I'm pretty sure, because, you know, if men and women went, but I'm pretty sure those.
Oh, yeah.
They're going to be
can't.
scissoring.
Yeah. Right. The question is, did any of them, because it's all men down there.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, we're not going to make it. Do we try butt stuff? Like,
oh, yeah.
I mean, do we try it? Like, and the one's like, and they're like, what are you talking about? I was kidding.
Yeah. you hear the cable get attached because they somehow got down there and to save you. Oh, I was just kidding. That would actually suck ass. Like, let's say, hey, we're all going to die. Let's all suck each other off and just like do the most degenerate shit. And then like you hear the cable attach after everybody like comes and you're like, oh, fuck, we have to live with this. What'd you guys do? How'd you guys, survive? They're all like sweating with their dicks out. Nothing, man. Oh, they do like they run tests on them like afterwards. Like your balls are completely empty. What happened? How did they do not produce any semen down? Like, no, it's all gone.
Yeah, no, I stopped doing that a long time ago.
Yeah, dude. So, but no, people are pissed because they're like, how dare you joke about it? And I'm like, dude, I would joke about anything. And also, like, what? Look, the fact of the matter of the submarine is this: it failed every like test they threw at it. It cost $250,000 or $150,000 or some shit to go. So you have all these rich investors going.
Yeah.
And then they're controlling the vessel. No shit, by the way. They're controlling the vessel. Look at this. I got it right here. They are controlling the submarine with a $29.99 like Mad Catz controller. That's how they control this bitch. Like, you couldn't even get Xbox One controller.
It's like a Mad Catz GameCube controller.
Yeah.
Jesus. I have never ever like you used to work at GameStop. You know this.
Yeah.
My Drexel's brother. I was gonna say my buddy, Drexel's brother. He would always come with some bullshit fucking Mad Catz controller.
Oh my God.
Hey guys, I got a third controller. And he'd bring it up and we're like, why didn't you get the original? He's like, well, this one was $20 and the other one was 40. It's like, you dumb motherfucker. You're going to buy 8 of those during the lifespan of the one official one. Always buy an official controller unless that is some Ninja Turbo action shit that you need for something. But do not buy those things. And so you put that thing on a damn submarine. Why didn't they just learn from like the Nicaraguans how to make a damn submarine to transport all the cocaine to the US? Like, like they're investing all this money. It's like, why don't you ask the professionals?
Just imagine being in that bitch and you're holding a goofy Mad Catz controller and you're like, man, this thing feels like really cheap, but whatever. And you get down there and then the left joystick stops working after 5 minutes because that's what's going to happen. Like, oh fuck, now we can't dive anymore. We're doomed. They should have had like at least a mechanical like backup or something. But no, they have one button and one controller. That's it.
So how do you? I mean, forgive me because I don't pilot a submarine in the ocean. But my thoughts are this: you know where the damn Titanic is, and so you bring a boat attached to a submarine because you're not hauling that submarine out to the boat. Like if you guys haven't seen it, that submarine's like that's a temporary thing.
Yeah,
I rode a submarine once. I was in Hawaii, and we're like, oh, we'll do a submarine tour. That's fucking cool. Like how do you go on a submarine? You like go along under the ocean, and they're like, we don't bring the submarine into the dock. You ride a boat on the dock out to the submarine because these things do not move very fast. I mean, this isn't the Navy, like nuclear cool submarines, right? And this thing's the same thing. This is some rickety shit that needs to go down deep and come back up, but you're not hauling this thing across the fucking ocean. So you attach it to the boat, you drag that shit out, and then you're over the Titanic with your GPS coordinates, and then you drop, like, you just go like down. Like that's what you do. You just go down and then you come back up. How do you get lost? Like, there's not like a turn. There's not a back road to take. How do you get lost going on the fucking Titanic? And how do you not just like come back up? Because it's not like this thing sunk or like flooded or something. They knew that, or they're pretty sure they were still alive a little bit ago because they're banging on the walls, right?
Yeah, I don't understand why James Cameron did this shit in the 90s. Just borrow his freaking submarine.
Yeah.
Like, why'd you build a new one that's shitty? Just borrow James Cameron. He has like 5 of them probably. And then go down and look at the Titanic if you want. I don't understand. Like, and I saw Flash on Twitter. He was like, because, you know, like it's like a once in a lifetime thing. He's like, I would also go, into space with Shatner and them like they did. And I'm like, yeah, but that was like a sanctioned test, like launch that was very, 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 reputable. And they knew it was going to work. It's pretty much like 99.99%. This submarine was like, if you kind of read into it and research it, it was like guaranteed to fail. Like, so I was like, what? Yeah.
Well, there was a guy, documentarian, and they had offered to bring him down. He's like, no, that thing's shady as shit. And he's now posting about on Twitter. I've never heard of him, but he was talking about how he's like a Titanic documentary guy. And he's like, a whole bunch of people had been questioning this thing. I don't know, man. It just seems, it seems pretty, they should have gotten to pilot the submarine.
Who's that?
The captain of the Titanic. He got that shit down to the ocean floor once before. I mean, there's one guy who's guaranteed to get you to the destination. I don't know about getting you back, but they should have done a seance, brought his ass on the submarine.
I can't believe that 110 years later, the Titanic is still killing rich people.
Why would you call it the Titan? why would you name it after the fucking thing that sunk? Why would you do this? Like there are rules. That was the whole problem with the Titanic. They named it wrong. And they're like, oh, it's unsinkable. Well, that shit was guaranteed to fail. Its sister ship didn't sink because it didn't eat as many sandwiches.
Yeah. It's like Titanic 2, Rich People 0 still. Like after all this time. Speaking of rich people, real quick.
Oh, I saw it.
Yeah. Look at this maniac. Gosh, jerk off going hard as hell. He says, so I was deep into whatever thing tonight. And I unfortunately had to side with Destiny too much tonight just because the cows just kept mooing and wouldn't let the man speak. Hell, Camelot and the Puppet Raggets, let's bang out this snake's milk stuff. Yeah, so I watched a few clips of Destiny on, I think it was the Whatever podcast. And the girl,
is it the fucking abortion debate? Is that what they did?
Something like that. And look, I get it. You know, Destiny has pretty shit takes sometimes, but it's almost like anybody that just talks like concisely to these women that are like brain dead. They seem just so much smarter in comparison. Because Destiny's a smart dude. Like, it's just I don't really care for his takes, but these women are literally brain dead. So when he's like talking to them concisely, he sounds so right. And they're like, but like, what if like your boyfriend? It's like, fuck.
Okay, so wait, was Destiny, was this the abortion debate show on Whatever? Because I know Whatever's having Destiny on for an abortion debate, but that might be tonight.
I saw a clip of him and it might have been on the Whatever podcast. It might have not been, but he was talking to this girl and it was that kind of show. I thought it was the Whatever podcast.
It might be because they invited me, Whatever podcast asked if I would come do an abortion discussion on the show. And I think it was tonight, but I couldn't. I was like, dude, it was too short notice for me to get out to California to do that show. And Destiny was going to be there. And I was like, yeah, I did a debate on abortion on Destiny's show. So I would love to do it, but I just couldn't be there that day, and it made me kind of sad.
Yeah. They were talking, when I saw it, they were talking about open relationships.
Oh shit. So yeah. Cause he has one of those.
Yeah. Which I think that's like when she called him a cuck and he's like, well, like cuck is somebody who watches, you know, we're in an open relationship. Right. And somebody's like, what's the difference? And I kind of like agree a little, but still like she's just dumb. She couldn't. It
depends because cuck has morphed from the idea of someone who derives pleasure from watching their other person, significant or not, get railed by someone else. Whereas now like the common usage of cuck has included not only like that, but also open relationships. It's also included people who get cheated on. Right? Like, you're a cuck now. And it's like, well, I mean, it's funny, but the question is, are we going by the funny definition or like the actual one? And what is it? Because personally, I think open relationships are really, really dangerous and most people are not going to navigate them well. But if people want to do that and try it out, you know, that's on them. Like, that's fine. Sure. But because I don't give a shit what people do, but like, I think the cuckolding thing is different. I mean, it's in the same ballpark, I guess, but it's weirder to me. Like cuckoldry is weirder to me than open relationships. Both of them are a little foreign to my understanding. Cause I just don't know. And I think that's different than like people doing like group stuff too. Cause like the open relationship is like you go off and do your own thing as well. Yeah. So it's like there's all these different grades of I guess non-monogamy, and all of them are kind of confusing, but they're all different, but they get lumped together because everything gets lumped together. And I think anybody should be really fucking careful with that in their relationships because it can be a mess.
The only thing I could see is like, let's say, you know, I'm in a relationship, got a chick with me. I think it would be cool to like be like smashing this other chick that's just been brought in, and I'm fist bumping my girl, and we're both like tearing her up. I feel like that'd be sexy. No, because
that's a threesome. Like, and
that's what I'm saying. Yeah,
that's like the college dream, right? Like that's what every college guy is trying to arrange is the MFF.
Yeah,
exactly. Threesome.
Yeah, and I feel like that'd be kind of cool, especially when you're like real good friends with the person you're with. And you're like, it just feels like you're both conquering just a vessel, like a big old fleshlight.
Yeah, people navigate all this shit in all sorts of different ways. I just always suggest whenever people bring it up, I'm like, I don't fucking know. I got Lady Raggets. That's good for me. But like, if you want to do that, be real fucking careful, because I've heard shitloads of horror stories about how that stuff works out. Even people, there's a guy in my locals community who he was in either open relationships or swinging or something for like a really long time. And he and his wife were, everything was cool. And then all of a sudden it wasn't, like, and it's like, oh shit. Met him in Vegas. Nice guy.
It can change things. And speaking of changing things, Billy Hatcher, time for Naked Snake and Pot Milk. I hope you enjoy the break, Nick. Hell yeah.
I did enjoy my break. Thank you, Billy. Let me say something real quick, because there's rumors of turmoil in our gay bromance, and I want to quash those rumors right now. People are like, oh, why didn't you have Camelot on Fridays? Camelot gone forever? No, Camelot's not gone forever. I talked about this a little bit on my local stream, and there's a more detailed explanation of it coming out. But let me just bring the mood of this stream down to gay reality for just a second. Before my vacation, I was in really, really bad spot personally, like tired, exhausted, strung out, depressed, and all that shit. And getting through shows was really tough.
Yeah.
And part of, getting through shows was, especially certain shows on Fridays, was a lot of liquor to kind of help lubricate the mood and stuff like that. There's a point where that becomes too much. And I saw it in myself, and I didn't like what I saw. And it was before the last show, but it was kind of leading up to that. I just didn't really have time to readjust and change. So right now I'm adjusting how I do things with the goal of bringing back Friday fun days sometime soon. Of course, I love having my boy Camelot on, and that'll be back more, but I got to get me right up here before I can do that, because it was descending into places that I didn't want to go and I don't want to be. So you, as streamers, like, it's a weird thing to say, but we literally always have to be checking on our mental health, because you're in the public eye. You don't really get a lot of time to process this shit, and people have expectations of you. So I'm trying to do that, but also be very transparent with people about why, and that way, hopefully other streamers can take notes and hopefully not get there.
Yeah, dude, it gets into a wild spot. Let me read this one, and I'll make a point on that. It says, Jargoff says, nah, bro, these were semi-mainstream con chicks, I suppose, but it was 2-on-1 and Brian was just hosting. Yeah, so that's what I saw. So thank you, Jargoff Juggernaut. I love you. Sweet, delicious orange boy. I believe that may be a rainbow night right there. Thank you. So a lot of people don't get it, and I understand. Like, I don't understand the pressures or the mental or the physical, like pressures when you're doing, let's say, construction work or something. But people think we turn the camera on and we're like, boo, and then it's like we get off and it's like, man, this is so easy. Like, man, I tell you what, like, there was a point, like, I don't know, 6 months ago, like 4 months ago, where I was like, every single stream, I was like, I don't think I can do this. I can't do this. And it's because it's something about it. It's something about it mentally. Like, I would like literally like be sitting here in silence for 10 minutes before my stream started, just like looking at the floor. Like, it's just weird. It's like very mental. And you'll see streamers, they'll be streaming every day for like a year, and then they just fucking disappear. And it's like, what happened to so-and-so? And they're just gone for like 6 months.
Dude, it's real. And like, we don't mean to make out like we have the hardest jobs ever. Or anything. Like, we do have a great job. We turn on the camera, we talk. It's not a ton of active hours in that way. It's a bunch of active hours in other ways, booking shows, figuring out topics, researching and reading and keeping up with stuff. But like, there are other things that you try not to do, but you can't help. And one of them is like, when you see the amount of people who subscribe to you or who are watching live shows and stuff like that, you start putting those expectations of, I have to do this. I have to perform. These people support me, and they want to be there. And you put pressure on yourself that isn't there. And all that shit begins to wear on you. And then when you get into a tougher spot, it really compounds, because you either take the time off to like fix it, or you don't. And if you don't, then it builds and builds and builds, and you don't have that pause. That's why, for me, taking the pause of a couple weeks for the vacation. Like it was magically helpful. I can't express it enough.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, like I said, I try and be open and transparent about that shit because I want other streamers to kind of, see and hopefully like take notes and learn from shit that I go through. And also, I just like to tell my audience what's going on because I like you guys.
Yeah, that's one thing people don't realize is once you start performing what people would consider, good as a streamer or whatever, like videos, that pressure just goes up times like 1,000. And then you're like, well, I have to do this structured thing and I have to be on always. And then I have to cover this and I have to do this. And you put yourself in a tiny little box and it makes everything 10 times more anxiety and stressful riddled because you're like, well, if I don't have 1,000 viewers today, I'm a failure and I need to kill myself. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it shouldn't be like that, but that's just how it is. It's just,
there's no way around it.
Yeah.
And I really, I'm not supposed to do this, but there is a comment in the, Hashuv says, no realization. Most people watching have real full-time jobs, but don't know the stress of streaming twice a week. Wheat sauce. First of all, I got you, brother. And they're different types of stress.
Yeah.
And I would take this job over the full-time job every week. Although I do want to say, at the average week, I stream 4 specific days a week for 3 hours to 5 hours, minimum 3 hours up to 5 hours. And then I have another stream that immediately follow those for 1 to 2 to 3 hours. And I also guest on other shows during that, often for 2 to 3 hours at a time. And I do a Sunday stream. And in all of those, there's additional work around those things with either reading up on things, finding topics, booking guests, doing research on legal stuff. Plus, there's also the rest of our lives that go on. So, yeah. I mean, the time on camera is something, and believe me, it's great, but we do actually spend a shitload of time off camera as well. And if you see a streamer streaming a couple hours a week, there's a good chance that they're putting in much more than a couple hours a week behind the scene. I would suggest 30 minutes to an hour per hour is put per hour on screen is put in off screen. So
yeah,
and you don't see that side. We try not to bitch about it because we do have this great fucking job. That's fantastic. But there is real stress there, man. And trust me, done the real job thing too. Tons of different stressors there. And I respect the hell out of everybody who fucking works at all. So
yeah, and I think the biggest thing is when you are on screen, like you said, depending on who you are, that's a small portion. So I'm making thumbnails. I'm going back and forth scheduling shows. I'm on Twitter 24/7. I'm talking to all these people. I'm doing all this stuff. Being on screen is actually like 20% of what I do. And then the rest is all behind the scene stuff. It's easily more than 8-9 hours a day. And if you're actually considering any interaction with your community, it's like 15 hours a day. You know what I'm saying? So it goes hard. It does. And like Nick said, I would rather not be doing anything else than what I'm doing right now. But it has its own weird stress levels that you don't experience anywhere else. And this goes for anything. For example, I've been racing professionally for like the whole year. It's my first full-time year in racing. And we are on race like 8, I think, right? And I can't do it. I'm like, I cannot do this. I'm traveling. I'm gone all weekend. I'm getting in a car. I have all these coaches trying to coach me, and I'm so stressed out. And the green flag's coming, and I can't breathe. And there's like 90 freaking cars around me, and I'm like, if I make one false move, we're all fucked. It's terrifying. And then also there's the whole weekend that you're preparing for it and doing all this shit. And there are people out there like Kyle Busch, like professional drivers, Max Verstappen, that are doing that every weekend for 20 years. I can't even fathom that, because that's all I wanted to do when I was younger. I was like, I want to be a NASCAR driver. I want to race an Indy car. And now I'm like thinking to myself, I'm like, I don't fucking think I would want to do that now. Like I couldn't be gone 90% of the time. And
yeah. Different, whatever, different things people do. It's all different skill sets, different pressures. And for like, I couldn't do fucking like on the road trucking. Like there are people in my community who are, distance truckers. I'm like, I don't know how you can fucking do it. I need a home to be in. That's the kind of weird that I am. I can't do like the transient shit. Like, I don't mind staying in a hotel or even driving that much, but having it all the time, I would fucking eat an exhaust pipe. Like, I would just sit
Dude,
there and
I love it. I
be done.
love like being in my space of my house is like I love it. I can't as soon as I leave on a Thursday for a race and get back on a Sunday morning, all I think about is being back home. Can't wait to be back home. Can't wait to sit down, relax in my space. It's really weird. It's hard to explain, but let me get some of these goofy ass super chats so these bitches stop complaining about me not reading. Damn you, Trad, I love you.
He
dude.
can't read.
I can't.
He's one of those African children. Look at him. Look at how dark he is.
I have text to talk right here. This is how I read this shit. Trad Beardman, I love you, sexy gentlemen. Thank you so much, my friend, for another gold boy. Generation Apollo says they paid $250K each for an authentic Titanic experience. Does it get more authentic than that? Woo, Lord. Damn, it sucks. Appreciate you, dude. Samantha says, what do you think about Disney selling George Lucas films due to them not profiting what they think they would? I don't think it's going to happen, but I would really prefer it just so somebody else could take a whack at it, because I can't believe how terrible it's gone. Storm Crow says maybe Camelot can confirm, but there were indications that there was electric problems that caused the Tor audio to reset. So they've been stuck listening to Titanic song on repeat for the last few days. Tor audio for what?
Maybe.
Interesting. That would be awful.
Oh, yeah, they had. Oh shit, that's got to be a joke. Like, that's got to be a joke, right?
Oh, I don't know.
Like, so the tour audio on the fucking on the submarine. Yeah, they would have died a long time ago.
You're just like this whole time, and then you're just laying down there like, I can't breathe, and it's like, every night when you're just like, oh, kill me, just fucking shoot me. You have a flare gun, aim it at my face.
They all fall in love though. That's the real trick. They find true love on that ship. Hopefully it's not that one kid and his dad. That'd be weird.
Oh no. Johan Knoxo says Nick is the Jack Murphy of Friday show.
Oh no. Oh no. Wait, let me get an ankle in the screen. No, I'm just kidding.
Just get the beard in there. Fun fact, Unhung Hero, Titanic had two sister ships. Yeah, the Britannica and the other one, I forget the name of. One did sink, torpedoed, and the other one crashed a couple times, but was in service for a few decades. They retired it in 1933, I think. The last ship is the Queen Mary, which is the last RMSS, whatever fucking ship. That's the last one that exists, I think. Thank you, Unhung Hero. Karos, 5 to 8 hours of streaming takes a toll on your mind, especially the bladder, and that's for damn sure, because Karis knows he streams all the time.
Yeah.
Thank you, Karis. And Josh, cheers. And that puts us exactly halfway to Naked Snake. Thank you, Josh. I love you. I appreciate you. So delicious and sexy. Appreciate you. But yeah, dude. So I was following live updates, and there's a new one just now.
And shouldn't they be called dead updates by now?
It's oh my god. So it says right here, here's the latest. It says noises heard. There was noises heard. Let me pull this up real quick on the screen. It says noises heard, and this is what you were mentioning earlier. From beneath the waves in the North Atlantic on Tuesday and Wednesday have become the focus of the urgent for 5 people. More rescue vessels have arrived in the vast search area, roughly twice the size of Connecticut and more than 2 miles deep. It says, here's the latest details. Captain Frederick reiterated the mission continues to be a search and rescue operation, although officials have said they are operating under the assumption that the submersible would run out of auction sometime Thursday morning. That they're basically saying it's over. That's pretty much what that means. It says Captain Frederick reiterated that the mission continues to be search and rescue, although officials have said they're operating under the assumption that they're going to suffocate. So it's over. Like, especially with that one thing that retrieves it, it takes 24 hours to weld it to the deck of the ship, and that's more air. That's more time than the air that they have.
Yeah.
So
they're not looking good. Maybe they have like Tom or who was it? Gary Sinise and his team of autists from Apollo 13 to use some duct tape and some socks and shit to get the fucking oxygen scrubbers going.
Here's the 8 things you have: box, some scissors, 2 wires. We need you to make this shit. Connect this to something and flop it down that bitch and hope you bring that up. But yeah, dude, like I don't understand what they were thinking. Like, to be honest, it doesn't really make much sense to me. It says for a survivor of the deepest underwater rescue, the Titan search feels urgent and personal. Urgent. So urgent that if I'm not mistaken, they're using taxpayer dollars to go save these some bitches. Well, they are billionaires, right? On the vessel.
Yeah.
You got to
Yeah.
save
Well,
them.
one of them is definitely a billionaire. The other one, the Arabic guy probably is too. Because they're just born billionaires, right? Like,
yeah. It's like, you know how much this dude donates to the freaking DNC? You better go get his ass right now.
I was reading up on the Saudi royal family. Because, like, you know, Elon Musk is the richest man in the world, but the Saudi royal family is like richer as a group. And like their life is comedy. It is fucking comical what kind of like luxury they live in. Like they got this fleet of gold-plated Lamborghinis and it's like actual gold on them.
Yeah.
Like they're made out of 24 karat shit. And like their house is just, it's just this massive thing. They have a fleet that rivals like Delta, a fleet of personal jets. It's crazy how much money they have.
What would you do in life? What would be your motivation to do anything?
You do everything.
Yeah,
you do
like,
anything.
What about what? I don't understand. I guess that's why
Like you
go
just
around
sit
the
down and
submarine.
read a book, probably. Like you just in their library that's like 8 stories tall with ladders everywhere that have 50,000 fucking books in it. The picture of that was cool.
I remember hearing about how quite often in the country that they're in, you would just find hypercars that are dusty and abandoned in the desert all the time.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, fuck it. I'm too drunk to drive home. Somebody come get me. I'll leave this Lamborghini Diablo here.
Yep.
Don't need that shit no more. Like, I'll just leave it here. Should we go get the Diablo? Oh, fuck it. I have like 37 in my garage. Fuck that Diablo.
I got another one.
I got another one.
It's a wild, like, it's hard to comprehend the level of wealth that some of them have. And it's just like, I kind of think it's like, man, it'd be fun, but I think it'd be exhausting after a while. Like, I think like it'd just be like, you wouldn't want to do all the stuff. Like they have these super yachts and shit, but it's like, I don't really like boats. I don't know.
I feel like what gives us purpose is to drive ourselves, physically and financially. Like if you took one of those out, and I mean out completely, like if I had $10 million, I would still be driven financially. But like if I had like $10 billion, what the fuck am I going to do? Like that you completely take that one pillar out of my purpose for like survival. So like now what the fuck am I going to do?
Yeah. And they're like at a place, Bezos is like a builder. Musk is a builder. Like these guys are industrialists. Like they're modern post-industrialists, I guess. The Saudi royal family, they got it's oil money forever. Like they own a country. Like they don't have to build something. And I don't know if they do, like they could for fun, I guess, build businesses, but like that's not what they do. They just exist in wealth. And same with like the British royal family. Like they're not as rich, obviously. But I'm like, what is your like? Why do you guys exist? Like, what do you even do during the day? And they're like, oh, we do appearances, mate, or whatever. And it's like, fuck off. Like, you're strange. I don't get monarchies at all. But yeah, that purpose is like, go achieve something. And like, you're born into having achieved the literal maximum of that thing. I don't know how they function like that, because it would be fucking weird. I mean, it'd be fun. Like you go on the yacht party or you just buy an Instagram model for a day or whatever. But then like after that, it's like, well, I mean, I guess I could do that again tomorrow. I don't know. Yeah.
There's a study I read, I don't know, 6 months ago, talking about how kids that grow up extremely wealthy with wealthy parents end up battling depression for their entire lives.
Yeah.
And it's because they like the max amount that they can achieve has been achieved by the time they're like 13. Like, oh, you want to go to Paris? We're going to go to Paris for the weekend. We're going to go to, Sweden. We're going to fly over to Sweden. We're going to party. We're going to go on the yacht. And they're like, I don't know what the fuck to do. And I don't want to use anecdotal evidence, but I have a friend that's his parents, I think their income combined is over $10 million a year. And they gave him like a mansion to just fucking live in. Just free mansion. Here you go. It's great too. I've been there. It's cool. And that dude's on SSRIs out the ass. And like all he does is do drugs all day and doesn't want to do anything. Doesn't bathe, just sits there like all day like this. And I'm like, well, like, what do you want to do? And I'll ask him, you want to go out and do something? And he's like, no, I don't want to do anything. And I'm like,
it's fun to not have any responsibility on a vacation for like a week. But and like when I was on this vacation, it was very relaxed, very chill, and it was like, oh, okay, this is nice. I don't have to pay attention to a clock or anything. But then it does get to the point where it's like, could I live like this though?
Yeah.
Not for long. Not for long, because you just have to. I don't know. I just have to do something. Like I get weirded out when I sit around my house for a whole day without like doing something. It's very strange.
If you gave me $1 billion, I would start a NASCAR team, and I would spare no expense. And then if I had halfway any ass talent, I would win. Because, if you have that kind of money, you're running equipment out the ass.
I would start 2 NASCAR teams, and I would have them race parallel to each other, and I would stand on them with a whip as they drive around the track with the reins. Yeah. Like, let's go, bitches. That's what you got to do.
And for some reason, NASCAR allows it in the rule book because I paid them. You can now stand in your car with reins. It's like it's like horses. I would get a freaking Clydesdale, the biggest horse ever, and I would ride him, and I would not use a saddle, so he could feel my heartbeat of my asshole, which will make us become one, and we're faster together. Because I was talking to my friend the other day, and I was like, I feel like horses have Hispanic accents. So I was talking in horse, and I was like, I guess I was high or something, but I was like over in the corner, and I was like, Jace, when he rides me, I prefer him to ride me without a saddle. And when he smack my ass, it makes me go fast in more ways than one.
Not sure if horses are gay or if Mexicans are gay or if Mexican horses are gay.
Jace, did you know it is possible to be too attractive?
So my wife and I on our honeymoon, this is 19 years ago, on our honeymoon, we went to Mexico, to Nuevo Vallarta, which is just north of Puerto Vallarta and a little nicer, but not as much stuff to do. But we took this boat across the bay to the place where they didn't have roads or electricity. And we rode Mexican horses up a mountain in the fucking rain. These Mexican horses look like a damn rib cage. It was just like a rib cage with skin draped over it.
Oh my God.
And it's like, you get out there and you're like, is this healthy? Is this why regulations exist? And you get on the horse and it goes, and like sighs. And I've ridden horses a couple times. Like, I'm not an expert rider, but I know how to like steer a horse. You couldn't steer these bitches. They knew exactly where they were going, and your ass didn't matter. And they're trudging up this fucking mountain. I'm like, man, I feel bad. You should be on my back. Like this shit was terrible. It's like, you can't even eat this thing if you get stranded.
You just hear them grunting and shit. They're like sighing over and over.
Like, we're like, we feel bad about this horse ride. But where we went was awesome. Like, we went up this mountain and we got to this river waterfall, and there's like a pool there, and there's a really good ass Mexican restaurant just up in the middle of nowhere, like a cafe owned by some people, obviously for the tourists who come. But we got to swim in the little pools and sit under the waterfall. It was gorgeous. But I did feel bad about those horses. I didn't do anything about it. I didn't give them money or food, but I felt bad about it. And I still think about those horses to this day. And I'm sure they've been turned into glue by now.
Yeah, if I flew over North Africa, I wouldn't stop. But if I flew over North Africa and I saw a little village and you had those little bitty babies with distended bellies, I'd be like, oh, damn, it sucks. But then I keep flying to Amsterdam.
Yeah, you'd have a jar of flies that you'd pour out the window and be like, here, this will help with your eyes. I learned that from all those commercials, that those flies, like they clean off the eyes of African babies.
Oh,
Pretty sure that's what's happening, right?
In the arms of an angel. Did you know, Nick, for just 25 cents a day, you can feed a small African child as we film it crying?
For 25 cents a day, you can feed this small black baby to a swarm of flies. Jesus Christ.
Damn.
Why are you doing this? You one of those bug zappers or fly paper or something. Just fix that damn country for $8 at Home Depot.
Yeah, like flies apparently are more important to the ecosystem than Africans. So
Jesus. Those things always weird me out. It's like, didn't the production crew bring some peanut butter or something? Like,
That's what I'm saying. They're always like playing the song "In the Arms of an," and it's like zooming in on this little black child, and he's just a single tear comes down, and he got his distended belly. His mom's dead in the background and shit, looking all confused, and they're like picking up rocks for some reason, and I'm like, give him a freaking corn dog. Because you know the production company has like 7 dudes in like their little hats, and they're all fat, and they got
a catering table, little fingerling sandwiches, little like cocktail weenies with toothpicks in them. Like at least let him suck the juice off the toothpicks when you're done eating the cocktail weenies. More calories than they get in a normal day.
Just something. Give that little bastard something. Look at his belly. God, why is he look like he's like freaking 8 months along? Give him something. Jerk off Juggernaut says Rackets.
No wonder they have so many damn kids. They start early.
Yeah, dude. Rackets, when will you be on Chris Gore's critics court to argue the Jedi's being pedos? Oh my god.
I'd love to do that. Yeah, I'll talk to him. About
that would be hilarious because see, because you'll piss off so many people. Every time you talk about that shit on any show, everybody gets so mad. How could you say that about Star Wars? They're like, Empire Strikes Back is a masterpiece, man.
They're mind controlling children, and they wear robes like a priest. They're touching they're force touching the peepees if nothing else.
They got to be celibate, and also they're taking children at 9 years old to their academy and locking them in a room all together.
Yeah. Hey, if you were a Jedi, would you use your brain to jerk yourself off?
Yeah,
because like that'd be me. Like I do this, like oh baby,
you just squirt everywhere. And then you could just freeze your like cum in the air, like throw it at shit. Somebody walks in, you can wait on Anakin to get in. He's like, "Oh, Master Obi-Wan," you just He's like, "Oh, you like that, bitch?"
You're like, "You're Mia Khalifa."
It's not against the rules. He didn't ejaculate onto his face. He uses the
force. A bit of shit.
Yeah, it still follows the rules, and they got the little kids for that.
They just can't do it in November.
Yeah.
Do they even have months? Have we ever gotten into the Jedi? Like, is there a Star Wars calendar? Because our calendar is based on the Earth, and like most sci-fi shows, they have to do some standardized space calendar, and they base it on the 24-hour day, so they're in sync with the Earth home base. But that's a galaxy far, far away. How fucking long are the days? Are they standard from planet to planet? What about space travel? How do they determine how long it's going to take? Like, do they measure in the same measurements? I mean, our minutes are based literally on the Earth's rotation. So how do they time this shit out? You have to have these answers for math.
Yeah, because there's some planets that like a day is like 128 hours.
Yeah. So like, what the fuck is it? Like,
it's cold.
This is a missing element of George Lucas's stupid fucking universe.
Yeah. That's a very good point.
Where's Star Wars girl?
She ain't gonna know nothing. Steve says, agreed for my radio show. I usually spend 2 hours for every air hour in research. When you have the ear of that many people, you can't be wrong. And that's for damn sure, Steven, although I'm wrong all the time. Florida Farmer says, love you, bro. He's riding a damn chicken or some shit in his damn profile picture. Love you. Silver Hawk says, Nick, don't you know with a sub, you always go down with an even number, so they always come up as couples. Just ask the Navy. Damn. Anonymity T2 says, got all my stuff for Matsuri in order. Can't wait to see you gentlemen there. It's gonna be a great time, dude. I'm excited. Every content creator I know is like, yeah, I'm no longer going. And I'm like, well, fuck, I am. So I'll be there. So American Dreamer says, what 5 people would you choose to replace them? Like, what 5 people would I rather die than the 5 people there currently?
Tess Holiday.
Yes. What's that one dude that's always just making himself look fatter and is borderline retarded, and he has people watching?
Nico Avocado?
Ethan Klein.
Oh, yeah. But no, Tess Holiday was my 5 people.
Lizzo. That's 5, because she weighs like, what, 400 pounds? That's at least 5 people. That's 5 small women. I read a thing on Tess Holiday a couple years ago, and I was trying to find out how much this bitch weighs because she's so damn big. Like she's so big. Her skin like ate her joints and stuff like that. And it said 280 pounds. I was like, you are fucking not even close. There's no
way.
That's like that thing that said Tim Pool was like 5'11", and I saw that picture of him standing beside you, and he's a foot shorter. Tess Holiday, let's bring this shit up. God diggity damn, she is a round bitch. Whew. Imagine if she lost weight, her tattoos wouldn't even make sense anymore.
God, there's gotta be, I need Asian levels of math for a tattoo. All right. This is my dream, Camelot. It is to get a tattoo of a word on my penis, which says one thing while erect, but something else while not erect.
And it just does it out in the open in front of everybody.
That's what I need.
Damn.
That's what I need to happen. I don't know how you could do it. There's got to be a way.
Jesus, I'm pretty sure this could just get me banned on YouTube for disturbing content.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure that's how Dick Masterson's Dick Show got banned, was making fun of Tess Holiday. Like specifically Tess Holiday is kind of the possible.
Oh, well, I love Tess Holiday then. I apologize. I was talking about a different Tess Holiday. The less famous one.
Yeah.
Oh God. Where did it go? Johan Naxo says, I bet a couple of rednecks could go magnet fishing and find that shit in an hour. That's for damn sure. Give them a damn
They probably did.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. Turns out all 5 of them are in an Arkansas shed right now.
Yep. And they're squilling. Take them panties off. Jerk off Juggernaut says the sub incident proves why XXs shouldn't be allowed to drive or navigate in any way. Did you hear about that shit, by the way?
No.
So the CEO of the people that built, like the company that built the sub, he's basically like the all-encompassing guy.
Yeah.
Said that he didn't want a 50-year-old like white guy veteran because when he was looking for submarine drivers, they're all like 50-year-old retired military. Obviously.
Yeah, it's amazing the number of people who have experience driving submarines is a pretty narrow field of candidates.
So he's like, they don't inspire people. 50-year-old white men don't inspire. So he wanted to get a 20-year-old like a white lady that had no experience. I'm like, oh yeah, good luck with that one. I can't believe what happened. Oh, wow, it's lost at sea. And they're like, can you navigate us back? And she's like, I don't know. I thought this was like a Netflix audition. It's like, oh, we're fucked.
First interview question. Have you ever been lost while driving? Well, no, but I lost my shopping cart at Target 4 times.
That's the same thing.
I know what happened to it.
Oh, God. Speaking of losing my shopping cart at Target, jerk up Juggernaut with a pink boy, hot diggity. Damn, 100 from Naked Snake says, I'm outside my hotel in Rochester, New York, and I just watched a helicopter go by following a single bright light. Then as a single light went by, it went out and kind of looked like one of those stealth aircrafts, but it was hard to make being this dark. Well, you're in Rochester, New York? It's aliens, dude. It's aliens that we're going to hire to save the billionaires. Because we can't let them go, bro. We can't let them. Dude, you know, if it was me and Nick on that submarine, there would be no tax dollars. They'd be like, oh, that sucks. 2 YouTubers are dead.
They'd be like, yeah. Not only that, if they tried to send a rescue mission, tax dollars would be sent to stop it.
Yeah. They'd be like, no. We got more important things. We got more important things. We got to get Brittany Griner her next operation. We got to do a lot of things. Can't be saving Nick. So he spreads hateful rhetoric anyway. It's fine. Thank you, Jerk Off Juggernaut. Love you, dude. I appreciate you, Pink Boy. Jessica Reloaded says, how much do we need? Okay, hold on. How much do we need to get in Antonio Banderas super chat reading again?
Oh my God.
That's enough. 20. That works. Thank you. I appreciate you, Jessica. I love you. You're always so damn supportive of you, boy. Brent Wolf says, Shyster lawyer not going to cover the Eastman disbarment trial?
I don't know. Maybe. I don't know if anybody has any idea just how fucking unplugged I have been lately. So catching up on all this stuff that's been happening is like, I don't know necessarily what's going on, but maybe. I don't know.
Sometimes you just got to let go. Like if this tells you anything, I text Nick like the Tuesday that he was gone. He was gone for 2 days. He did not respond until like a week and a half after. And he was like, yeah, my phone was off for a week and a half. Yep. I'm like, well, that's what he unplugged, man. For reals. Sometimes you got to damn unplug, man. God, it was rough, man. I've been there where you're just like, I just don't think I can do it, man. I just don't think I can do this shit anymore. And then taking some time off really does help. It really does. A G Tech says, I'm cheap and poor. Nick, am I still sumed on locals? I care about Nick more. Subbed on locals? Shit, I don't know. Shouldn't you know, G Tech? Go open the bitch.
I don't know. Yeah. How do you not? I'm not sure what that means.
Get on it. Just click your local button right now, G-Tech. See if it goes on there. Jerkoff says I wasn't allowed to say women in the last chat. Yeah, no one wants to talk about women anymore. especially not the like the biological ones. It's all trans women now. Have you noticed that? Like, I'm not saying anything out of the way, but like, it's only about trans women, not trans men or anybody else.
Yep.
It's only about trans women. Like every issue is all for trans women. It's always that like really frail, creepy guy with a giant nose that has a 5 o'clock shadow and like balding purple long hair that's curly. And I'm like, why is it never like a chick, like Buck Angel style, like ever? And because we ignore Elliot Page, of course.
They have to like sell it.
Yeah,
they have to sell it. I mean, I don't know why they do. That's just how they've chosen to sell it.
Yeah,
but
and if you've noticed,
good luck.
Tons of actresses and actors, okay, are coming out of the woodworks and all of a sudden being like, F this woke culture shit. And I'm just like, it's like kind of cool to see. Like, and what I thought was the funniest was Jennifer Lawrence. She 2 years ago or a year ago was talking about how hard it is and how being in Hollywood is a male dominated field and everybody's testosterone and misogynist and they're all evil and they're all objectifying. And then now her new movie, she's just naked half the time. And she's like a laid back whore. And I'm like, it's funny. You just get nude, aren't you, baby? Why? Because the roles kind of started drying up after you being a dumbass for a little while.
Yeah, I don't know, man. That industry is so fucking broken. They're not broke. They make plenty of money, but it's so fucking broken. And like everybody's on this like virtue signal kick. And then they realize like the virtue signal doesn't actually get them anything except for like little praise yips from Twitter and stuff like that. But it's not putting asses in seats. In fact, it's taking them out.
Because the people that want that kind of thing don't watch or consume your products.
They're usually broke.
Yeah.
Like this is the thing, like the socialite warriors there, you got two levels of them. Abject poverty, because all they do is fucking protest and complain. They make their entire identity about a social issue and nobody wants to hear it. So they can't last in most workplaces. Or they're exceedingly wealthy and they're just immune to everything. And they think that is how they will proceed. But the middle America, the normal people working lower, middle, and upper class jobs don't have fucking time to make everything in their life about someone's penis. Like they just don't. And so they don't realize that. And companies like Bud Light and shit are learning that in a very hard way. Like beer is such a middle America thing. And they're like, well, let's just tell all the people who don't have time to care about this that we hate them. And let's do that and try and force us on. And they're like, no, you fuck off. Like I go to work every day. All I want to do is come home and have a damn beer. And I don't want to know if there's male or female pubic hair stuck in it.
Yeah. And those like trans people or whoever supports that. And I'm sure a lot of trans people don't actually, but
they don't give a shit. They're like, just let me live quietly, please.
Yeah. The activists are probably like, did you hear that? Like Bud Light totally like used Dylan Mulvaney and they're totally on our side. This is great. And they're like, yeah, dude, cool. And then their friends like, you want to drink some Bud Light? And they're like, no, it's gross. We're going to drink martinis, bro. It's like, we're going to drink Long Island. We're going to have a great time. It's like, oh, they're not even buying the Bud Light. No, of course not. The only person buying that was like a 57-year-old man that was tired of his marriage. And he just hides in his damn shed and drinks until he blacks out. That's the only guy buying Bud Light. So, yeah. And I think they were relying on that ESG bullshit. And I feel like that shit's kind of drying up or not paying out. And all these businesses are like, oops. Oops, we're goofing,
That's the trick. So all of the woke shit coming from companies is all on ESG and it's on this like ESG credit score. Can we get investor funding? But that funding is limited. Like there is a limited amount. Venture capital only goes so far. And eventually brands are going to have to reconcile the fact that if everybody's woke, nobody's woke, and ESG won't actually support every company that's out there. So some people are going to just have to make money the old fucking fashioned way. Yeah. And until I can't wait for it to come collapsing down, frankly.
Dude, and I feel like that's happening because 3 years ago, there was no one in any kind of popular media pushing back except for like a sect of Fox News, I guess. And that was it. Now you have a new celebrity every day. Shit, who was it? Michelle Rodriguez. Somebody was filming her and she's like, you know what sucks? All this bullshit woke shit's gay. I hate it. And I'm just like, woo! And then you have Mark Wahlberg. He's like, yeah, this is bullshit. Then you have Denzel Washington. Yeah, this is all really gross and stupid. I don't like it. And I'm like, this is great. I'm just loving seeing this shit. You have so many actors coming out and being like, you know what? This is all really silly and stupid. Can we make characters that are good instead of just diversity characters? And I'm like, this is the greatest thing I've ever seen in my life. And yeah, and one thing I would like to lay out that's kind of unrelated, but kind of related is if we are racist for not seeing the Little Mermaid because the main chick is a black chick, Ariel, why is it that overseas, where keep in mind it only made $3 million in China, overseas,
that's a fucking mess.
The Aladdin remake, which is exclusively brown people, made over $1 billion. Weird.
How did the Aladdin remake make any money? That thing was such fucking trash.
Yeah, I don't understand it either. Lion King made like 1.6 billion, I think, the remake.
Yeah, I mean that makes sense. Well, makes a little more. Wasn't the Lion King like way more true to the original movie?
It was shot for shot, except it was like CG lines, and they didn't facial expression, so it was kind of weird.
Yeah, but like that's cool. Like that's cool. Like, okay, we just reanimated and revoiced the Lion King, and it's the same thing. So that's fine to me. But like the big Aladdin was shit. Like it was just utter shit. The new songs were bad. Like the acting was garbage. Will Smith was already a piece of shit when he was in it, and that was just a bad choice. But yeah, I could not see how that made $1 billion, but I could at least see how Lion King would if it's the same story and stuff.
If I had to pick the best remake of them all, it'd be Jungle Book. I saw Jungle Book in theaters. It's pretty damn slick. And Christopher Walken was the giant monkey guy. He was like, okay, what you doing, little kid? I'm gonna kill you. I'm like, this is great.
Why you out in the forest alone?
Yeah, exactly. And then he's chasing him and he's giant as fuck, and he has one of those ass faces. He's like an ass face monkey thing. God, I love it. Thought it was great. But all the other ones I couldn't watch. I watched The Lion King recently, and it was pretty much just the cartoon without facial expressions. And then that was it. I don't want to watch anything else. I have no interest in watching the freaking scuttlebutt bullshit. I'd rather die than hear that shit. Ain't gonna happen. No way, no how. Fire PA says, King of Saudi Arabia came to have surgery in NYC 13 years ago. He literally occupied the entire VIP wing of the hospital he was having surgery in. All the other celebrity patients were pissed off. Oh, rest in peace. I want VIP though, please. I guess if you have that much money, it doesn't really damn matter. Low IQ, if you went to Mexico, then regulation, no. The cartel will take care of it, bro. Yeah. I will speak no ill will on the cartel. They're great.
Cartel I for one love our cartel masters.
They're great. Nothing bad to say.
Did you hear of that fucking story? It was a couple months ago, I think. This guy was at a party down in Texas, and he'd apparently like stolen 50 grand from the cartel. And he was on a party, or he was at a party on his cell phone. He told the person on the cell phone, he's like, yeah, rip the cartel off for 50 grand. 3 hours later, never heard from again.
Shocking.
Just gone, just fucking disappeared him. It's like, what were you thinking?
And more power to the cartel, because he should never speak ill will towards the cartel because they're great.
Yeah, they're the greatest people on there.
They're fantastic. I don't know why he did that. They're so good to us. Evil syphilis says 280 pounds per square inch, maybe. Damn, son. That's a huge bitch. Jarkov says Rackets is the real life Elsa. Just let it go. Let it go. Don't stream anymore.
Oh, shit.
Let it go. Let it go. I'm not watching Trials anymore. I don't care. All right. Sorry, I went too far.
Yeah, you kept going on that one.
Here we go.
Sit back.
Disco, bruh. Oh, yeah. My man, he's back. We hit Naked Snake. Always a good show when it's Nick and Cam. It's a thing of beauty when Chance is on duty. Homeward Bound reference. What the fuck? Anyone playing the new Final Fantasy demo or getting the full game? What about Ubisoft shooter from the creators of COD? Looks decent enough. I don't know, man.
Cucks of Duty?
Cucks of Duty. Man, it's so great watching Dr.
Oh, we gotta take the skin off there because he's mean. Fucking hell.
He said leave children out of it, and we want to rape them, so I can't believe we gotta ban him right now.
We're trying to put it in children and children in it.
Do they not realize that's what I want is the little child? How dare Nick Merckx say that in front of God and everybody?
It's fucking crazy.
It's crazy. And then Dr. Disrespect comes out and he's like, eat my ass. And I'm like, you. And like, people are like, he cheated on his wife. And I'm like, no one gives a fuck. He's the gajillionaire. It's fine. He's like, he's cheering on his show. Bro, I love it. I just love watching all these people push back. And it's almost like it feels dated when a company is like, we won't tolerate, blah, blah, blah. It almost feels dated now. It's like cringe. It's like they're still living in like 2022 or 2021. Love to see it, Disco. I appreciate you. You're goated. But speaking of being goated, Trad Beardsman. Oh my God. Can you believe this man? Look at his beard. It's so trad. God. I want that rock music. Also down 9 pounds.
Nice.
6'1", 179. Holy shit balls. 179. Damn it. 6'1". That's impressive. I weigh like 194. Got the stomach veins. Still no abs. What's the deal? I'm 36. Just want to be pilled once in my life. Abs are entirely genetic. Not entirely, but a lot of it goes genetic. Or just do trim. And you'll have abs. Do you some ab crunches? Do some trim. There you go. Trad, I got you covered. Thank you
Hit
so
trim.
much.
That's all I heard.
There you go. 450 until Fight Milk, by the way, guys. Jerk off juggernaut. Jennifer Lawrence was the first beer crafter. Oh my God. Did you saw that commercial, right? Where it was like, women were some of the first beer. I'm like, yeah, I'm sure.
Mesopotamian women.
Who were the other people that crafted? Oh, it was men. Shocking. Can't fucking believe it. So you're saying men and women crafted beer? I can't believe it.
It's almost like people have done stuff forever.
It's almost like women and men have cooperated throughout over 200,000 years of our human history to get to this point. Crazy.
It's so strange because like the way we derive history, like the way we have to derive history is through preserved writings, right? So you got like the Bible and other things, and they're like, well, every culture must have been patriarchal and all this stuff. And it's like, well, I mean, to some extent, sure, there's maybe a patriarchal hierarchy to a lot of these civilizations, but that doesn't mean that there was no cooperation between men and women and that everything was like a forced sexual encounter between men and women to produce offspring.
Yeah.
Like people aren't that different. Like the whole idea of how we interact with the opposite gender changes in some ways, and there could be some power structure differences, but at the base level, like your dick either works or it doesn't. And there are things that make that happen. And it's not always like force, right?
Yeah,
like this concept that, well, women never worked, men did all the work. Well, I mean, obviously there would be women helping out. Like even when it's farming, they're helping out around the house. They're doing these things. They have a list of tasks, but there had to be cooperation because you can't just have one half of society doing everything. So it's silly when they're like, women did this too. It's like, well, yeah, probably.
Yeah, they are people. Like, the thing that's crazy to me is we have this weird, simplistic, very narrow view. I feel like, and it's sometimes it pops into my head when I'm thinking, but I feel like the vast majority of people think that if we just look into the past, we were oppressive and evil. Like in every situation, it's like, well, women didn't have rights at this point, at this point, at this point. And I'm like, women and men have successfully cooperated throughout all of human history to get to this point. There was a man 100,000 years ago rubbing his wife's back when she felt bad and kissing her on the forehead and hunting and taking care of it. And she was out, taking care of stuff, maybe going to the market and trading and bartering. These people they successfully cooperated and compassionately and intimately and survived all throughout this history. And I feel like people only have a negative lot when they look at anything in the past. Yeah, there was atrocities here and here and here that we learn about, and atrocities done on certain races or certain groups of people or whoever or what have you. But generally speaking, men and women have cooperated to get to this point. And I feel like we just have this negative outlook on everything that happened in the past just because it was in the past.
And and when they're like, women didn't have rights here. It's like, well, actually, fun fact, neither did most men.
Yeah.
I mean, men in power did. And when you look at like the really old Bible books, for example, they're talking about very specific classes of people. For example, when they're talking about like Abraham and shit, like this is the richest guy around. Like this is not just the patriarch of a family, of a fucking country, effectively. And then when the story of the Old Testament is the story of Israel, a nation state. And when you get into shit like Proverbs was a guidebook for the young aristocratic males, specifically on how they would live up to family legacies as rich men who led society. So like Proverbs has useful shit in it, but know what you're reading. Like you can't just read Proverbs and be like, every man and woman was told these things. It's like, no, these are the richest people who would lead the fucking kingdom in the future. And they're told how to be brought up in the aristocracy. Average people are average, and like those relationships, sure, some of them were arranged and shit like that, of course, and we had different customs around them, but you have arranged marriages now that are to us kind of foreign. But if you've met people in arranged marriages, you know what they have to do, especially when they move away from those traditional societies and into Western societies, to keep their marriage going, they do have to find love, find each other, and learn to cooperate. Like there's no need to necessarily keep arranged marriages once you move away from those family traditions, and a lot of them do. So this concept that none of these things could have happened in the way they happen now because we're so enlightened is so fucking weird. But people like just leave out the common sense of human interaction has happened forever. It had to.
Wars were fought over women. Like,
yeah,
there was women where a king was like, you know what? I kind of want to bang the princess over like 3 kingdoms over. So I want you to conquer and kill everybody so I can get her. Like that's like, it's like women. I feel like women had a certain privilege throughout history. And only until maybe structured society was it that men kind of started taking off, and then women caught up during the suffrage movement. So I feel like, but in ancient culture, it was, they served their roles and their purpose. Like, and they, without one, we didn't have the other, obviously, because look where we're at. We made it this far because they existed in that time. Jessica Farb, been a minute. Hope you're doing well. Love you, Cody. Thank you, Jessica Farb. I'm glad you're here. I missed you. I appreciate you so much. And also, Fluffy Pencil just came into the stream and it activated the BFG. Thank you so much, Fluffy Pencil. I love you. I appreciate you. It's a $100 super chat. $3.50 till 5 mil. Thank you so much, my beautiful friend. You're goated. Britt Wolf says, Rackets clarification. Lawyer John Eastman, constitutional scholar and former Trump lawyer, tried for disbarment in California for suggesting that Pence had constitutional power to send 2020 back to states.
Yes. Okay. Thank you for clarifying that. I do remember that news story now. I always think of the Jenna chick who is kind of primarily talking about it in the media. Jenna Ellis, I think her name was. I mean, her name's still the same, I think. But yes, I'll probably talk about that. I'll look into it. I remember seeing the news story about him being suggested for disbarment. That's an insane proposition, that suggesting or even making the legal recommendation that Mike Pence had the constitutional authority to not read the votes is that he should be disbarred for that, because there is no actual ruling on whether or not a vice president must comply with reading the votes in a particular way. In fact, we do have plenty of evidence that powers of that are delegated to different people and even branches of government in the Constitution are optional. And a big one of that the Democrats are pissed off about, for example, is when Mitch McConnell refused to hold a Senate vote on Merrick Garland's nomination to the Supreme Court. There's the Senate must approve a nominee, but there's nothing to force the Senate to vote on the nominee. In the same way, there's no mechanism to force the vice president to read the votes on that day. So could the Supreme Court find that? Sure, but it's not been done. So John Eastman should be in the clear on that, but we're just seeing the massive political fallout that will forever come from the 2020 election because they did something, whatever they did, and some people talked about trying to undo it. And then what happened next is they won, though. And so anyone who talked about trying to undo the thing or go against the thing has to be punished to the maximum, as they have to establish that you cannot speak out. You cannot challenge the system that brought the 2020 election to its end. Like, you cannot do that, because if you can, it's very fucking dangerous.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, I'll probably end up talking, not tonight, but I'll end up talking about that soon.
Kind of related here. Thank you, Brent Wolf. Lord Pepsi says, I rub shoulders with LA people. It's truly an echo chamber. They align with us publicly to keep their job. Funny hearing them kveck on what they voted for. So this is a great point. I have a friend that lives in LA, and they I watched them on social media, right? They are overtly extreme, like left on social media. They like and retweet stuff that's like save trans kids, give trans kids hormone blockers, blah, blah, all that shit. They're all over it. They retweet it. They support it publicly. And I talk to this person every day, and they know I'm talking about them probably because we talked about this before, but they are 100% like a conservative, and they think it's all gross as fuck. And I'm like, then what do you do that for? And they were like, they told me, they were like, well, I will lose my job. Yeah. And I will lose all future opportunities. I have to do this. The person that I'm speaking of is a very, very, very like high person in media that I just happen to be friends with because of YouTube. And they are like, it's just somebody that I messaged one day that just happens to be on the other side of the aisle publicly, that no one knows, literally no one knows here at all. And
I know who it is.
Review Tech's like literally a liberal, which is, there's nothing wrong with that.
Review Tech's fat.
He is a big man, that's for sure.
Did you see him go after Melanie Mack?
Oh yeah. I thought that was weird. And I've told Rich, I mean, I'm sure Rich has seen my videos or my streams about it, and Rich has always been super nice to me. He made videos about me, he supported me in the past. So I'm
trying to get you to fight him.
I'm always forever grateful, and he's, like I said, he's nice to me, so he's my friend. I'm cool with him. Man, what the fuck? My dog just busted the door up and scared the shit out of me. But he got mad at Melanie Mack because she laughed at a church burning because they had a pride celebration, and then it got struck by lightning. But the issue is no one got hurt. It burnt down. No one was injured at all.
We're talking about something different.
Yeah, this is the first one. This is what started everything.
Yeah.
So the church burnt down. No one was hurt. And Melanie Mack was like, LOL, they had a pride parade, so God struck them down. And it's a joke. And I thought it was funny, to be honest, because like I think of most things funny. I think the submarine thing's funny right now, and it's still happening. So Rich was really pissed about it. And to me, the only thing I ever said about it is like, I don't know why Rich cares, because he's secular. Who cares? Like, that's like me being angry or sad because a house burnt down in California that I don't know about. It doesn't really as long as no one's hurt, fuck it. So they don't pay taxes. Churches they're fine. They're gonna be fine. So that's all. So I didn't really understand the point of the drama. And then he tweeted at me saying that I had her on my show and I didn't ask her tough questions, which I did. We talked about like premarital sex in a very degenerate way for a while. And she's like, she's devout. So it was,
yeah.
And she was great. We had a great time. And then I had Rich on my show like a week or 3 weeks ago, and it was great. We had a great time. So I thought it was weird, but what is the new one that he's, it's because she said the F slur on Twitter.
Yeah. Like, which was a funny joke, by the way. It was,
because it's like somebody made this much money because they said, and she's like, she said it 4 times.
Right. See, and people don't realize. So like Melanie Mack put up a great joke on Twitter, which since women aren't funny, a man probably wrote for her. It might've been Rich. I don't know.
Yeah.
That's my theory. No. So the news story. Yeah. XQC or whatever got offered $100 million contract to move to Kick.
Yeah.
And the like tweet about it was like, XQC gets offered $100 million 5 years after saying the F slur on Twitch or something. And so she drops it 5 times in a row. Like the obvious joke is give me $100 million contract or a $500 million contract or whatever. And yeah, Review Tech USA gets like pissed off and butthurt about it. It's a fucking joke. It's a joke. Rick.
Yeah.
Calm down.
But I think, look, I look at it from like a financial standpoint, is I feel like his channel is more going towards that like drama kind of thing, which is cool. I mean, it works for some people. I'm just not interested in it myself because it stresses me out, but
maybe it's awful.
Right. So maybe he likes it and enjoys that interaction. And also, there's a tension there. So I don't knock how you get your grift going, because I grift all fucking day. It's what I do. It's my job. I
Yeah.
grift. I mean, look at Fluffy Pencil. We're grifting right now with Fluffy Pencil. So that's the thing is, I think it gives you fuel, and it gives you stuff to talk about in your content. So I get it from that aspect, but all I can say is Melanie Mack's lovely. I've had her on my show. I've asked her tough fucking questions, and it did not faze her. She's cool. She's always been nice to me. And on the other end of the spectrum, Rich has always been nice to me. So I don't have anything negative to say about him. So, and I've had people that I don't like one or the other on my show, and like, doesn't matter to me. I don't cancel people because of guilty by association stuff. It's weird to me. Jay's game.
I'll talk to people I don't like.
Shit, Vito joined your show one time.
Yeah,
and we just talked for an hour. It was fine. I didn't give a fuck. And I don't
Cares.
really care for that guy either. But I don't hate anybody. I feel like I don't have enough.
Yeah, the problem with Vito is how he acts online.
Yeah,
because in
normal.
person he's normal dude. I've met him a couple times, once in LA, once in Philly, and we were in the same place hanging out, and like he's fine. We tell jokes about sandwiches. When I saw a playground, I told him to stay away. It was funny.
Yeah, and he'll laugh at it. Like it's
right.
It's whatever. So yeah, I just think like when he's on Twitter, he probably should just not say shit. And then he'll make a video talking about it, and he'll say, yeah, I probably shouldn't do that, and I probably shouldn't do this, and it's maybe I made a mistake, and I should apologize. And I'm like, dude, you're making it worse. Just fucking just lean into it. Fuck it. So it's all really weird. Jay's Gay Butthole says, Cody, please talk about Talladega having 0 butts and seats for the super fun race day. Super chat got censored to hell. Yeah. So Talladega had Talladega, Alabama NASCAR track and others.
Yeah.
Had a pride day during a race thing, and it was their lowest record attendance in history.
Yeah.
And I'm shocked.
Do you not know your audience?
Yeah.
Like, do you not know?
Yes, that lady with pink hair ain't coming to your races, bro. God.
And you don't have to the audience doesn't need you to shit on Pride Month either. They just need you to forget it exists, because they don't care. If I am going to a damn NASCAR race, I don't want a rainbow flag being the checkered flag. Like, I just want to get away from what I have to see every fucking place I go. Like, I don't care about gay people. I'm not mad at them. I don't care what they do. It doesn't matter to me. Friends who are gay, family members who are gay, it literally irrelevant issue to me. But when every fucking thing I do and see and eat has a rainbow on it to remind me about this group of people, I'm like, I know gay people exist. You don't have to keep telling me about it. If you put a damn Republican elephant for Republican month on everything, I would want to shoot everything also. Like, just leave me the fuck alone. Yeah. Can I go do my thing or eat my Cheerios or whatever without being reminded of some political agenda? Not everything has to be fucking politics.
Yeah, and that's how I feel. Like, I have no problem with what anybody's doing. I don't care. Like, fuck it, dude. Do whatever you want to do. It doesn't bother me at all. The place where I draw the line is just leave children alone. That seems pretty reasonable.
Yep.
And B, I mean, there's gay kids that are 12, 13, and they're starting to find themselves. Let them talk to their parents or a counselor and just leave it alone. But you don't have to, dude. It's like you'll see. Somebody will post a rainbow flag and be like, there's so much pushback. And it's like edgy. It's like, there's so much pushback, but I don't care. I support. And it's like that meme face of the guy, like the cringy bald guy with like this shitty beard, like smiling and being like, I don't care. I support it. And it's like, dude, like no one else cares either. Probably 98% of people generally, maybe more, don't give a fuck. It's just like, I go to the post office and there's like 4 pride flags. And then like everybody's wearing pride stuff. It's like, dude, I don't care. Just, it doesn't, like, don't replace the American flag with that's weird. Like, just,
yeah.
Like, I was driving through a neighborhood 2 days ago, and there was a house that had like 5 pride flags and like almost like these weird bumper sticker signs just all over their lawn about pride stuff. And I'm like, you could have one like flag beside the American flag and that would be like reasonable, and I don't think anybody would care. But you have to, it's like an all or nothing thing, and people like to act like everybody's so offended from the rainbow flag. No one is. They're just tired of it being like everywhere for every situation that it doesn't belong in.
Any political thing. I'm avidly pro-life. I don't want to see a pro-life coalition flag under the American flag on every building for Fetus Month. Like, I don't want, like, when I will engage in politics when it is necessary, or when I go seek it out, to talk about a specific issue, great. But just don't put it in every store, in everything. When I walk in Target and there's a big fucking like pride display there with tuck friendly swimsuits, I'm like, I just wanted to come here and get a USB cable because my kids, an iPad charger, because my kids have fucking frayed their iPad cables every single time. Like, I just need to get another 5 iPad cables for the next 5 times that they break them. Just leave me alone. I don't want it everywhere I go, constantly, every single thing and issue and commercial and TV show. And did you know? So Lady Raggets is an avid Star Trek watcher. She watches all of the Star Trek shows in chronological order of the show. So, like, it starts
I
with
did not watch that. All right, I did not realize that. That's fun.
and that's like what she'll have on in the background while she does other stuff. And because she's seen them all, but it's just, kind of background noise, and she likes it. And when in Deep Space Nine, Ben Sisko is the captain, black guy, right? And every fucking February, they have like, or during the show, they had like a Black History Month episode that's in there. And they're always cringe and they're always forced. And it's like, can you just not, like, I get it. There were issues with America and blacks. We've all heard it a billion times. It doesn't have to be in Star Trek. And these episodes are always bad. But of course, the actor Avery Brooks is like a super activist also. So he way overacts on those episodes. And the whole quality of him is he's a shitty actor, but he works out perfectly as a captain because he's so fucking bad at it. But he overacts on those and makes them even worse. It's like, just stop. You don't have to tell us about black people in everything. Like, I could just go to the ghetto if I want to see them. I could go to the homeless. I'm just kidding. That's kidding. I could just go to the morgue if I want to see the
That's the thing is so weird when you're watching fantasy stuff is you'll see like some kind of space thing. And then like, there's like a black dude in the space thing. And it's one of those episodes like Doctor Who or something where they go to like an alien world and they're being racist towards the black guy. And I'm like,
we all know if it was a black dude.
And like they act like every country and like somewhere, some weird galaxy, they're also treating black people bad. I'm like, dude,
yeah,
this was an American thing like 200 years ago. Like, what are you doing? Like, it's so silly to try to put current politics, which aren't even current, let's be honest, into like space shows. That's why Doctor Who almost died over the last 3 seasons because every episode was an activist episode about some kind of movement. And everybody's like, this is gay. I want to see aliens with freaking vagina faces and shit. I don't want, dude, half the episodes took place like during like the civil rights movement or something. Like, what the fuck? You have endless opportunities to go to different alien worlds in your mind. And it's always about how we treated these people wrong or these people wrong or these people wrong. And it's always within the 1900s. Because it goes back to what we were saying earlier. And speaking of what we were saying earlier, Phil Labonte from All That Remains.
Oh, Phil!
$10 super chat. What's up, Phil? How you doing, dude?
Phil, I'm gonna be hitting you up. I need you, brother.
I need you
on the show. We need you very soon.
If you work out your ass cheeks and get them really fat, Phil will come on your show for sure. He told me.
I'm squatting right now.
He told me, he's like, dude, those fat asses, bro. If she's got a fat ass, I'm in there. I'll have my bib on and everything.
I'm working on it right now, Phil. Just for you.
I got my bib on, baby. Let's go. We were talking about Miss Carrie June, I think her name is.
I think you mentioned, the chick with the thick legs.
Bro, I would freaking eat her ass like a bag of groceries. God, I'm not even joking. Oh, God, bro.
Plus, just to get back to this, because this is a very important point. We all know if we actually let black people into space, they would be hooked up to a yoke pulling the spaceship.
Jesus, man.
No, see, and the interesting thing is there are plenty of ways in science fiction to just go ahead and explore concepts of racism and bigotry and oppression and slavery. And funny enough, if you don't have it be white people versus black people, you can actually get past the political barriers in people's minds and have them explore the topic. That's the whole point of sci-fi and fantasy, is to allow the genre to strip out the politics, and you can explore a topic from a different perspective. A great, one of the great sci-fi books I read not too long ago is called The Sparrow. And it's written by a devout Catholic woman. It's about basically we find the first planet that has a radio signal, and the first people on it are the Jesuits. Like, the Jesuits fund a fucking space mission. They buy a damn asteroid, core it out, put a damn engine in it, and they're going to send people there. And they get there, and like, there's a fucked up society that involves slavery and forced prostitution and all this stuff, but it's goddamn cat people. Like, it's and so you're like not worried about if they're like, are these like space Arabs or Jews? Like, I don't even know which one it is, because you're like, cat people, oh, this is fucked up. And then like all of the trauma associated with what's going on for the people who get there, and this culture clash and it's a big metaphor for how missionary work works. And there's a whole bunch of stories in history about how missionaries get either raped, murdered, killed, eaten, or all of those things in different orders. And then, they have to go back and keep trying. Like, all of that is baked into this sci-fi story, and it's cat people. So you're not like, which culture are they oppressing now?
Yeah.
So anyway.
Yeah, that's a great point. Think back to one of the greatest pieces of fantasy that's ever existed, and that's Lord of the Rings. The elves actively hate the dwarfs because of their race.
Yeah.
They both hate each other. So that at the end of the movie, when it's like, I don't mind dying beside a dwarf. You know what I'm saying? Like, and he's like, and I by an elf. Like, they've grown together through this 18-month journey, and they are super racist towards each other. Their cultures are. And we can explore that in this movie. But nowadays, they'll take a fantasy film like they'll fuck the show Rings of Power, and it will be like a white elf and for some reason a black elf or something, and they're like, we don't like you because your skin just like America. And it's like, oh, fucking kill me, please, just kill me.
I
don't want to watch this shit.
Stop.
Yeah, it's like, God, it's so gay.
You learned from D&D. Black elves stole the underworld.
And my damn bike. God. Fire PA says, Nick and Cody, is cis a slur?
It's going to be, according to Elon Musk. Cis and cisgender will be treated as slurs on Twitter.
Yeah, I saw that. Now, and if you ask me my personal opinion, I don't care about anything like that. So I would say no. I don't think anything's a slur. Fuck it. We should be able to say anything, and I feel like people should be adult enough to not really care. Now, granted, look, I'm coming from a position of a trailer park white guy, so maybe it's different for other people. But in my opinion, I'm like, dude, fuck it. It's a word. It's a word from a made up language that we made up like a 1,000 years ago. Who gives a fuck? God, it's so gay.
It's just funny to me. Like, it's funny that they're going, if maybe he's joking, but if he starts enforcing the use of cis as an offensive slur and banning account, like, I'm going to laugh. Like, I'm against it, but I'm going to laugh at it. Like, that'll be 100%. Great.
Yeah, it's great. It's like turning it on its head and kind of turning it on people that claim everything else is a slur that's not a slur, like spoon face or biscuit neck, fake slurs that are not slurs.
Biscuit neck?
Yeah, it's like a comedy bit where this guy, I think it's Daniel Tosh, he came up with a bunch of fake racial slurs and then asked people of color like if they were offended by the racial slurs. But he doesn't tell them what the racial slur means or who it's supposed to offend. And like, so people on the panel, he said biscuit neck, and the black guy was like, yeah, I don't like that one. And he's like, why not? And he's like,
I've been to Atlanta.
He's like, are you a biscuit neck? And the black guy's like, hell no. And he's like, okay. And then like he's like spoon face, and the Asian lady was like, oh, I don't like that one. And he's like, why not? And he's like, because Asian people have a round face.
Yeah, I was gonna say I saw a spoon face on Instagram. It was is this Asian chick, and she had like my two modes, and she had her hair down and she pulled her hair up. And her hair down, like she was kind of cute. She had a slender face, and her hair was here, is dark hair. And she pulls it up. It's like, whoa. She had a fucking Stewie Griffin head.
Oh,
I was like, oh
God.
God, like, how much can your hair conceal? I had no idea. And it's like, you never wear your damn hair up.
Oh my God. Holy Ozone Rob. Brainwashed college kids got into business positions and are either trying to destroy these companies or they're just really, really dumb. I think they're just trying. I think the entire purpose, and this is the conspiracy and Cody talking, I think the entire purpose is to destabilize the family unit, to destroy and destabilize certain countries, like Western countries. That's what I'm thinking. But, you know, I could be completely wrong about that. Thank you, Rob. Kevin Spladley, I reported a guy calling that Star Wars girl a sissy just to see what would happen. They got suspended. I was surprised. Good. I got suspended for calling myself a redneck.
Yeah.
I literally quote tweeted something and said, it's because I'm a dumb redneck. And I got suspended for 24 hours for calling myself a dumb redneck.
Yeah.
And well, I got suspended for a week for the Eliza Blue thing.
Hill versus Babyface got his account permanently deleted for saying Valar Morghulis, right? Like all men must die from Game of Thrones. I think he said really? In quotes, all men must die, which is Valar Morghulis. And he got permanently terminated.
God.
It's like, that's the dumbest shit ever. It's a quote.
It just seems like things are going off the rails. And speaking of going off the rails, my YouTube channel and also my alt YouTube channel, I have to schedule things so far in advance just to appeal them now because they automatically are demonetized. Yeah. And I have won every single appeal besides one out of the last 20. It says, we've determined that your video is safe for ads. And I'm like, well, can you just give me the green thing before I post them? Like, why are you doing this to me? And nothing caused it. I just started streaming and doing this show. And then suddenly now all my content is demonetized for the first like 48 hours.
Yeah.
And I have to do the process where I appeal it and it always gets turned over. It's like, oh, okay, you're good to go. And I'm like, well, thanks. That's why my video about the CEO getting fired from GameStop was like a week late because it took me that long to fucking appeal it.
It's such a shitty system to do that. It's fucking stupid.
Yeah, it's awful. Speaking of fucking stupid, we're 300 even from Fight Milk, and that is because Joe Rick on Rumble with a Rumble rant of $20 says down 72 pounds, still looking like a hut, but mirrors no longer shatter when I look at him. Tell me sweet nothings of what happens when I look thin. You'll get to see your dick, and it looks huge. That's one thing. And I noticed that when I was a big guy. I was like 280, and then I lost weight, and then my dick looked like it was like a monster. I was like, oh, yeah.
The bad thing about losing weight is when you're fat, you have a built-in squat machine, but you have to then add weights to do squats later.
Yeah, dude, man, I tell you what, if you could somehow take my old boss from GameStop, Egg, and you could somehow, with science, cut his rolls off, and he wouldn't die from it, and make him 190 pounds, he could squat like 600 pounds.
Oh, they're fucking huge. Like, yeah, fat dude legs get big as shit. Strong as shit. They just have layers of fat rolls on top of them.
Yeah, and if you could somehow remove all that in one day, and because he would retain his strength, he could like fucking squat like 600 pounds. Like it'd be crazy. It's just weird. It's crazy to me. It's absolutely crazy. But that's just how it is now. And with 71% of people now being overweight or obese, there's no end in sight, man. The fats will take over. It's weird how WALL-E, the Disney Pixar film, WALL-E, is pretty much becoming like real life, where everyone's just obese. How did they predict that so well? It's weird.
Well,
they predict
just go outside or go to a fucking water park.
But dude, that movie came out in like 2008 or something.
People were already fat at water parks in 2008.
Well, yeah, but like now when you go to water parks, man, I remember I went to Las Vegas in like 2011. The first time I went to Vegas. And I remember walking through different resorts and hotels and down the street, and every other woman was like a supermodel actress looking woman. Yeah. And I was like, I can't believe this. Holy shit. And they were with like a goblin ass dude every time. And then like, I went to Vegas. In fact, we went to Vegas together recently. Yep. And every single person's fat. And there's like one or two hot women the entire time I was there. It's crazy.
It's insane. When you start looking at like the average weight of people, and I think the Drex has talked about this a bunch of times. I think the average weight of a woman in America is like 170 pounds, something like that. And the average height is 5'4". So we're not talking, these are 5'10", 6 foot tall chicks who are 170 pounds.
Yep.
This is 5'4", 170. These are little butterballs rolling around. And that's the average weight. And that's an insane proposition.
Yeah, because the average weight only 20 years ago, or average size, like waist size for a woman, was like a third of that. Maybe not. I don't even remember. I'd have to look at the stats, and I'm pretty sure the average size of a woman in like 1980 was normal, like 125. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? Like that's why pretty much in 1970 or prior, to see somebody that was 450 pounds, you had to go to a
Freak show.
A freak show. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's crazy when you look up pictures of the fat man at the freak shows, and it looks like a normal dude at Walmart now.
Yeah. Well, I was, I can't remember what show I was on. I brought this up. Homer Simpson in The Simpsons was comically obese.
Yeah.
And he gets on the scale in one episode and he's 239 pounds.
Yeah.
And he says, 239 pounds, I'm a whale. And he has that one episode where he's like, he found out that if at 300 pounds or more, you could get, he could work from home. Like you get a special exemption. So he had to work up to 300 pounds as a joke for being so ridiculously fat that he was expected to be immobile at 300 pounds. And when they draw him, you're like, that's a 700-pound man. Like they draw him as this bulb. He's just huge. He's got a stick to press the key on the computer from his couch. And you're like, 300 pounds, you go outside and see 300-pound men anywhere in society now. It's not even uncommon. It's a daily occurrence. And that was in the early 90s. That was considered to be laughably big.
That's exactly what I was talking about. So you take somebody that's 300 pounds in 1990 and you make a cartoon and draw that character. We didn't even know what somebody at 650, 700 pounds looked like in 1990 because they didn't exist. And now, fuck, there's like 5 seasons of 600-pound life at least. Like, and if you go to Walmart, look, I don't go to Walmart often. I go to Costco now. Got me a membership. It's like Sweden when you go in them bitches. So, like, I go to Costco and everybody's like kind of normal and in shape. It's weird. I don't know how that works. But when you go to Walmart, man, at any given moment, there's like 20 people that are 400 pounds.
Yeah.
And I praise the ones that walk instead of riding the damn scooter bitches. Freaking crazy.
Those you can hear the batteries struggling. Yeah. Sparks are flying out the back. Like, oh man. They go to the vegetable section. I'm like, don't even lie to society. You're not buying any corn or greens, you bitch. You're gonna go right around to the bread section on the other side. Just go into the bread aisle and stop lying to yourself.
Dude, I was at where was I? I was at Kroger picking up some salsa. Because the Kroger in my town has like this special kind of salsa that is nowhere else. And it's fucking wicked. So I was picking me up 2 jars. And I walk in and there's this lady. It's a fat lady. And she has her cart and she's like 450 pounds. You know, she got her sweats on. She got her sweats on. And dude, she is like a bowling ball. And her cart is filled to the fucking brim to where it's almost like overflowing of just like Little Debbie's and ice cream and everything possible in there. And of course, Diet Cokes, you know, because we got a good diet. We're trying to
have a Diet Coke.
We're trying to watch our figure here, Nick. We have to be slender for the ladies.
Yeah, it's the 33 grams of sugar in your Coke that's doing it. That's what it is.
It's not the 190 grams of sugar in your pint of ice cream.
You sweet summer child stopping at a pint.
Oh my. Oh, you know they got that damn thing that's like that big tub with a plastic top.
Yeah, it's like the low quality ice cream too, because they never have the good shit in that thing because it costs $18.
Oh my gosh. Real quick, Samantha Bullock says, I've been getting a lot of compliments this past week since the weight loss. Even got whistled at today. Ooh. Justin was not thrilled, but proud at the same time. Cody, you're such a hot man and motivator. Love you. Speaking of hot man.
No. Men do not whistle at women or compliment them ever. They don't want it. They don't like it. You fucking animals.
Speaking of this, so look, I have a challenge real quick. Samantha has been working really hard. I met her at my first race this year, and her husband and her daughter, great people. So she's been doing really well. She's making a lot of progress, but it's not over. So my challenge is I want you to fat shame her to get her over the line. So I want
you to shame who?
Samantha, the super chat right here.
She didn't ask me to do that. You did.
I'm asking you to fat shame Samantha because she needs to continue her journey and she's making a lot of progress, but there's still work to be done. So I need you to give her a good old fat shaming.
Here's what I'm going to tell you.
While I take a piss, though.
No, you can't leave yet then.
Oh, fuck,
Samantha, if you consent to a fat shaming, you just tag me in the chat. No super chat needed. Just tag me and say, yeah, you can fat shame me. I don't fat shame
she already did it.
by proxy.
She already did it.
Where?
It's right there.
There it is. Okay. All right. You gonna go take a piss then?
I'm gonna go take a piss. 2 seconds, guys.
Okay. Samantha, that's a nice profile picture you have there, but I notice only part of you is in it. Because despite YouTube having Google money and unlimited storage capacity, your weight cannot fit into the several terabytes necessary to be put on screen. The servers melt when you try and get that whole body shot, and a whole body shot it is. The only problem is it's a fucking 30-inch mortar cannon that would have to fire just parts of you out of it. You are so big, girl. It is embarrassing. It's embarrassing to big people. It's embarrassing to bigger people. It is embarrassing to Review Tech USA. I can only imagine what would happen if you get into a wind tunnel. How far back would your skin stretch? 20, 30, 40 feet, 50 feet? It's like a train on a wedding dress of a Nigerian princess. What the fuck are you even doing with your life? Get on a goddamn treadmill. Get on a goddamn treadmill instead of standing behind it with a box of Cheerios pouring onto the belt, shoveling it into your gullet. It's a problem. It's a problem. That was one blink for every 100 pounds you are. Gross. There you go. Just kidding. Girl, go get it. Keep working on your goals. Keep getting those whistles and cat calls, making your boyfriend, husband, whatever, jealous. I don't know who Justin is. I don't know. I never met this man. Get it. Have fun. Get your dreams. And your dreams better be thin. Because if your dreams are fat, then you should be dead. Fat people should be killed. Agreed.
All right. Hell yeah. There you go, Samantha. Hope you enjoyed that. That was all for you. Acrylicophobia says elementary school in the 90s, we had one fat kid in the whole K8. Today it's like the butterball turkey farm. Yeah, I was that kid.
Do you remember when fat people were made fun of because they were so rare? Like they were the outcast?
That was me. There was one fat person at my school. It was me.
Yeah. Do you remember when that fat, ugly, stupid kid was always made fun of all the time? He was crying in the bathroom, tears dripping down onto his nipples because they protruded so far out past his chin. That fat loser sitting around like, oh, you can't get into the stall to shit in the toilet because you can't fit through the door, you fat fuck. Oh, just shit on the floor then, and then cry in it again.
And also his nipples like caved in for some reason.
That's because the areola around it was hungry.
Yeah, dude, I'll never forget that shit. As long as I live, I had like nipples that just caved in. I was like, why is this? And now my nipples are like normal and like always hard and like fucking like erect. But for when I was a kid, man, they looked like little craters. The weirdest thing I ever saw in my life.
So when I was in high school, I made fun of a couple of fat girls like relentlessly. I was such a cunt. It was great. I made fun of these girls all the time. One of them was in my health class. And in health class, we had this video. I don't even remember what the video was about, but they had a guy who hated fat people. He was a fattest, like a legit hated fat people. And they brought they're like, this is an unhealthy like derision towards fat people. And he just goes on a tirade ripping fat people apart. I look over and this girl is just bawling her damn eyes out in class.
God.
I was like, oh Jesus. It would be like bringing the Grand Dragon of the Clan on to talk about black kids in school.
Jesus.
Like to the one black guy surrounded by a bunch of white kids. Like, why are you doing like, I'm mean, but this is really mean. It was like, holy shit.
My God, dude. Speaking of fat kids, I'm 100 subs away from 220K, bitches. You best get on it, doggone it, and sub to this channel. Predator Pyrodor Says down 72 pounds, still looked like a hut, but mirrors no longer shadow when I look into him. Tell me sweet nothings of what happens when I look thin. That you also rumble ranted that. I appreciate you, dude.
Nice.
Yeah, I read that one earlier. I appreciate you, dude. Sweet nothings in a year. Get on it, doggone it, my friend. Johan says, I saw my doctor today, Cody, down 10 pounds in a month, and my numbers look even better. Got a long way to go, but I got a big re-up on the good stuff. Thanks for your advice. Now Nick just needs shoulders.
Yep.
That's it. That's all you need is some shoulder. And you can do some lateral raises, bro, and it gets you there immediately.
Can and will are two very different things.
Dude, I was there today doing some lateral raises. Felt good. Got that the shoulder pump. The shoulder pump.
Oh, I'm up to sets of 5 pull-ups now.
Hell yeah. Wait, so you do 5 sets?
No, I do sets of 5.
So you do 5 sets of 5.
Not 5 sets of 5, like 3.
Oh, yeah.
But it was a set of 1, and then it was sets of 2, and then it was sets of 3, and now it's sets of 5. So
that's like a 5,000% increase. That's not the right number, but it's something.
Pull-ups are funny because when I used to never be able to do them, and I asked my buddy who is he's in shape and stuff. I'm like, how do you fucking work on doing pull-ups? Like, do I got to go do lat raises? He goes, no, get on the pull-up bar and just pull.
Yep.
And he's like, just do it. And I was like, that doesn't make sense. He's like, get on the bar, pull until you're tired, then wait 10 minutes, and then do that exact same thing again over and over until you can do a pull-up. And lo and behold, by the end of the day, I could do 1 pull-up. And he's like, just do that throughout the day, get on the pull-up bar and pull. And then eventually it'll be 2 and 3. And it does go up pretty damn quick. So, guys, again, I know you're busy. Like, I do not have 3 hours to spend like an hour getting ready or like 30 minutes getting ready, get to the gym, do a warm up, go to the gym for an hour of hard workout, and then like come back home and shower and stuff. I typically just don't have blocks of time like that. But what I do have is 5 minutes here and there around the house to drop down, do push-ups, sit-ups, pull-ups, basic calisthenic exercises like that. Find ways to work that in. I know if you're like me and you make excuses like, oh, I don't have an hour, so I won't do anything. Find it. The changes are dramatic. Dramatic when you do it.
Noob gains are like fucking magic. I've watched dudes come into the gym that can't even barely bench 10 on each side, flat bench, and they get up to a plate in like 3 weeks. Like noob gains are like a superpower. Now after that, it's gonna be a while because it took me like I hit 225 on bench after 6 months of working out, and it took another 6 years before I hit 405 on bench. So and then some people won't even make it because of genetics. So don't get discouraged when you walk into that gym and you see a dude throwing up 4 plates or squatting 475 or deadlifting 495. Don't get discouraged because it takes a long time. But you gotta want that shit, man. You just gotta want it.
And you may never ever get to like how some people are built. Camelot and I are built very different. Like I will never be as wide. Like no matter how many fucking lat raises shoulder raises I'm doing, I will never be that wide. I'm tall and slender. I always will be. And I probably will never. Even if I worked out every day, would not be benching 405. Like I'm just not going to be built like that. But you can get built the way you're supposed to be, and that's fine.
Yeah, and there will be something about you that's better than the person you idolize, their biggest thing, right? So I have a friend that his chest is like inverted. He can barely bench like a plate in 25, but he can squat like fucking 575, man. And his quads are thick. And I'm like, man, this is gay. Because I do heavy squats twice a week and I can't get there. I just can't fucking get there. And I've tried different kinds. I've tried like low weight, doing like 30 reps, working my way up. I've tried doing 4 reps of 475. Like it sucks because I'll never be able to get there for some reason. But on bench, he can't even do a third of my bench. So
why are your legs such pussies? Like that's
I don't know, man. My dad's got these little chicken legs. So that's why I got chicken legs. My dad was also like, my dad holds like a track state record for his old high school still because he was so fast. And me and I'm about 4 inches taller than my dad, but he's got a barrel chest. And he could probably bench 225 and he doesn't work out. He can probably go out there right now and bench 225. It doesn't work out because he's just that guy.
Drex's brother is like a foot shorter than him. Not quite but 9 inches shorter than him, something like that. And it's so funny when he goes to the gym and lifts, like just he just puffs up. He looks like a goddamn microwave marshmallow, and just it's dumb. It's like I saw him one time and I was like, hey man, you know, he'd been off he was like out of state for a long time. I saw him come back, he's all scrawny. And then I saw him a week later and he was jacked. And I was like, what the fuck? He's like, oh, I went to the gym once. I was like, once? That's just how his body is. He's squatting, but he's like 5'10" or something. He's not tiny, but well, he kind of is. But yeah, he just,
dude, that's the thing is, man, there are guys at my gym that are like 5'5", and they are fucking like 5 feet wide, and they are just so huge and bulky because all of that concentrated like muscle mass is going into 6 inches shorter, which is like a lot. So much.
Unreal.
That's why when guys that are like 6'5", they never get that over the top wide look. That's why almost every Mr. Olympia is between like 5'8" and 5'11", I think.
Yeah,
like it stays in that range.
And the strongmen competitors are usually a little shorter, but the ones who get legendary are hugely tall but built like a short guy. Like they're genetic freaks who are built with that stocky build. They just happen to be like 6'5",
like half Thor.
Yeah, like half Thor, or that Brian Shaw.
Like, yeah, that fucking guy. Yeah,
like they're built like short dudes. They're just stretched out somehow. And
yeah,
fucking huge. Oh my
god, monsters.
Their hands are like as big as your whole fucking body. It's dumb.
And you see a picture of them when they were 16, and they're still fucking huge, but they're not shredded or they're just big, like scary big.
Yeah.
So that's just how they're built. Marcel Defiar says plateau is real. Stuck it in now. You do plateau is brutal. I was at 225 on bench for like a year and a half, and then all of a sudden, boop, just shot past it like out of nowhere. So thank you, Marcel, for the orange boy. I love you, Kyle.
The trick is while you're doing your bench press, you have to shit. Like you have to be pushing hard enough to actually physically shit, and then you'll break your barriers.
That's why I go shit during bench press. Do 2 sets, go shit, come back.
Put on a diaper. You can get one from Ethan Klein.
Oh my god, dude, fuck that guy. God, I hate that guy. Something about his ass, just his face. I don't trust him. I don't trust his face.
Yeah, everything about him seems weaselly.
Oh, yeah. Like I recently watched his podcast with or highlight clips from his podcast with Bill Burr, and it's just creepy. Like it's all weird. It's like he's an alien trying to pretend to act like a human, and like Bill Burr will make a hilarious joke, right?
Yeah.
Just a fucking great, just witty joke because he's a real ass dude. And his wife, whatever her name is, Heba or Hina, whatever.
Hila Klein.
Yeah. His wife she'll be laughing at the joke. And like Ethan's just staring at the floor and he's like, so anyways, what? And he just like interrupts the laughing to bring up a random thing. I'm like, what the fuck is this? And it's like, it must be really hard for somebody as overtly fake as Ethan Klein to meet somebody so over the top real and quick witted as Bill Burr. Like, and Bill Burr calls him out like 5 times in the podcast. He's like, are you all right, dude? You're like freaking out. You're weird.
I was going to say it differently. I was going to say it must be weird to be retarded and meet Bill Burr, but
also accurate. Also very accurate. Kyle Brokaw says, as a 6'8", 250-pound dude, how do I get started working out? Go to the gym, my friend, and freak everybody out when you walk in, Kyle, because you're already gonna be strong, motherfucker, when you walk in there. But 6'8", you're a big ass dude. I would just go in there and have a good time, man. But you can Google chest day workouts, Google leg day workouts. Start easy. Your gym, unless it's a Planet Fitness, will have everything you need. Thank you, Kyle.
Pick stuff up. Like that's how you start working out. Just pick stuff up.
Put it down. If you see a guy that's doing looks like he might know what he's doing, ask him how do I do tricep raises as well. People are always willing to help unless you're to Planet Fitness. So Xander says, where do you do a pull up at home? He has a bar. Yeah.
I have a shitty doorway one. I'm trying to get an area in my garage set up to have a couple different like calisthenic things because my garage has just better space for it than our living area. But yeah, for now, I've had it for a couple years. And I used to do it a lot, and then I got my heat allergy and like left it in the fucking dust for a while. And I got it out recently to try and, like not be such a bitch. And so, yeah, it's just one of those doorway pull-up bars. I mean, I prefer a full size pull-up bar, like, because you can get your arms a little wider, and I'm like, I got long arms, so that it's a little nicer to get some different grips going, but those will work if you just want to get started.
Yeah, dude. Those door pull-up bars, I don't trust them. Because the last time I used one, the frame broke and I busted my ass.
How big are you? How much you weigh?
194. But back then I was probably a fat kid actually when I did
You're
that.
like the weight limit on mine's 250. Like you can't.
So that's probably why I broke, because I was a kid when I did that.
Yeah, and the hard part for me on those things is like the better way to do a pull-up is to actually have your stomach flexed and have your feet a little bit forward. And I can't do that because I'm too tall for the doorway to do that. But that's why I want to get one in my garage that hangs from the ceiling. That's, like 7 feet up.
Yeah, that just made of steel. Then you never worry. Speaking of being made of steel, if you're not a member on this channel, by clicking join down there at the little join button, we're getting our ass kicked by my boy Side Scroller Craig over on Side Scrollers Podcast. He's beating my ass. He's got like double. If you are not a member, get on it, doggone it. Stop being a pleb. Thank you, Fluggy. Says, as of January 21st, I was 228, and now I'm 162. My biggest issue was eating. Spent last year counting calories and intense training. Dude, it is 90% diet, 10% exercise. If you do not have the diet, you will never outrun a bad diet. Ever, 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 ever. So people like to think that they can go to the gym and they can eat a pizza after because they did their work. No. At the gym, you burned 200 calories over the course of an hour and a half. That's a slice of pizza. That's a small slice of pizza. So if you're eating 4 pieces dude, I know people that have started going to the gym and they get fatter because they'll work out for an hour or two and they'll go home and just binge eat because they're like, well, this is my reward. It's like, no, couple it with a good diet and you will freaking move mountains. But if you don't have the diet, it's going to be worse than you think.
Yeah, if you the only like if you do intense cardio all the time, that's when you start but I mean, we're talking intense cardio for hours of time. Typically, that's when you start really burning a shitload of calories from exercise. Most people need to cut calories from their diet. But when I did a marathon, I had the fucking calorie counting watches and shit. And when you run 20 miles and you burn 2,000 to 3,000 calories. Well, yeah, then you can add a bunch of food to your fucking diet. You're not doing that though. Almost nobody's doing that. And if you're going to work out, that's ripping and tearing your muscles. That's not a high calorie burn workout. So you have to cut weight, which is why everybody gets mad at me when I say this. If you want to lose weight, stop eating.
Yep.
Stop eating. Stop. You're big. You're fat. You can live without eating for a while. Stop eating. Cut down to 1 meal a day for a bit. Watch the change. It's dramatic. Oh, and the thing you cannot do is sit around with a goddamn bag of chips going, I only eat one meal a day and eat an entire thing of Lay's and then move to the fucking pretzels because they're healthier or whatever bullshit you're saying. People sit and snack meals worth of food.
Yeah.
All day. When I had issues, when I was a little heavier than I wanted to be, one of the first things I did, this is back when I had my office and I was driving to and from work all the time, is I would stop and tons of stops. I would grab a Snickers bar or a king size Snickers bar because I just need a little food, but it's 400 calories in a king size Snickers bar. That if you eat 2 of those a day, that's a lot of fucking calories. If you're drinking a goddamn Starbucks coffee, those are 600, 700 calories. That's all going in and your ass ain't walking it off. So you got to stop the snacking, cut down the amount of meals. You will lose weight. It is fucking physics. It will happen. But if you're sitting there and you're like, I don't eat that much, I bet you do. Get someone to follow your fat ass around with a goddamn camera and a fucking tuba to make fun of you at the same time. And you will sit there and notice how much you're eating throughout a day. Just grabbing a little thing here, little thing there, little thing there. All that sugar, all those calories adds up. And most people don't even notice it.
Thermodynamics. So a lot of people, I've trained a lot of women. And women be like, oh, I can't lose weight. I just can't lose weight. And I'll ask them, well, what do you eat? And they're like, well, I get my Starbucks in the morning. And I'm like, okay, what is your Starbucks drink? And they'll tell me their drink. and I'll Google that bitch, and it has 1,200 calories, which is 300 calories less than the daily intake of a 120-pound woman.
Yeah.
That is where you're fucking. Now, look, genetics play a role. Some people retain weight. Some people have a harder time losing weight. There's thyroid issues, but it's thermodynamics. If you are putting in work, you will lose weight. If you're eating less, you will lose weight. There is no genetic condition on the face of the earth that makes you just a fucking 400-pound person. And if you think there is, I would like you to get in a time machine and go back to Auschwitz and find the fat motherfucker in there, because you're not gonna.
Not a single one of them had a thyroid condition after a year at Auschwitz. No, it's amazing. Like, your thyroid helps your body regulate weight. Yes, that is true. But regulating weight still requires calories in versus calories out.
Yep.
Your body requires an amount of energy to function, and then any extra energy is stored as fat. The thyroid regulates how that storage occurs, and it regulates, shit about how you build muscle and do stuff like that. But you still have the basic formula. There is, you can't, the sand pit will stay the same size unless you're shoveling sand out or shoveling sand in. That's how it goes. So you just have to like realize that that's true. All the fad diets, all of the weird people online trying to tell you that that's not true. Notice what happens is people keep thinking that that's not true. Society is getting perpetually fatter. And also ignore the shit like the 2,000 calorie diet advice on the fucking box. Like, you don't need 2,000 calories. Most people do not need 2,000 calories to sustain their weight. Like, well, some of you fat asses need more than that to sustain your weight, but most of you are trying to lose it.
Yep.
But like, seriously, if you're like you said, a 5'2" woman and you're eating 2,000 calories a day, you're going to blimp up like a motherfucker. You don't need it. And this is so weird to me that this has become so verboten and taboo. There are people in the chat that I've seen right now, like, stop giving medical advice. Bitch, this is normal advice that everyone should have been telling all of you forever. Stop eating and you won't gain weight. You can't gain weight without consuming.
Yeah, that's the thing, is an average woman should be taking in around 1,400 calories a day. That's it. That's what you should be to be able to maintain. A man that's a normal size, 160, 170 pounds, probably about 1,800 to 2,000. That's your maintained calorie. And you'll have people that are like, yeah, I need 3,000 calories. I'm a giant man. I need 3,000 calories. I'm like, no, you don't. They don't. Sorry. No, there's no, you being overweight doesn't mean you need 3,000 calories. Like, you can, when I do a cut diet, for example, I do 1,200 calories for like 12 weeks. And I don't get toothpick sized. It takes 12 weeks for me to cut like 20 pounds at that size, at that like caloric intake. And people think that if they don't get, dude, I've had people tell me that, like, if I don't take in at least 1,600, I'll die. I'm like, no, you won't. You could take in fucking 40 for a month if you really wanted to. Like,
yeah,
you would look like you'd be fucked up at the end. But like,
you'll feel like shit.
Yeah,
you'll feel like shit. And I'm not telling people to stop eating anything ever. Oh, that's the joke. But the reality is, you eat way more than you think. You consume way more calories than you think. You eat calorie dense foods all the time. And if you slow that down and you regulate yourself and you don't snack between it, you will see results. And it is fast. You're going to start. It's the average is every 3,500 calorie deficiency is a pound of weight. Every 3,500 calorie over what your body needs is a pound of weight gained. So if you cut 500 calories, or if you're 500 calories below your sustained weight thing, and they have all sorts of calculators you can find online, you're 500 calories below, you'll lose a pound a week.
Yeah. And what people don't seem to understand is they'll be like, well, I don't eat like pizza every day. And it's like, okay, well, if you eat 8 potato chips, like 8 small potato chips, that's 250 calories. And when you sit down, you eat like fucking 50 or 100. You're eating like 2,000 calories in just potato chips in one sitting. Or you're drinking your beers or whatever you're drinking, and you're putting in 150 calories per fucking sip. And you're like, well, I don't eat pizza every day. Why am I 400 pounds? It's because of all this other shit that you're putting in your body. And I feel like people don't actually, they don't actively in their brain count snacks as like their caloric intake.
No, they a lot of people, self-included, when, before I start, you don't think about it. It doesn't even process to you because you're not thinking of it as eating and consuming. You're occupying. You're like sitting around, you grab some popcorn or chips or whatever, and they just go in while you're watching TV or while you're doing a task. You grab a candy bar on the go, you eat it, you grab a soda, a coffee, whatever, and you're just like, this is my thing while I go do something else. And people are like, oh, when they sit down, they look at their meal or they plan it out. That's a way different activity in your brain. You have to train it. And that's what people who are like nutritionists and stuff will work with people on. The other thing that some of you fatzos are doing is adding condiments and shit to all your food. You got to add ketchup and ranch, like stop eating ranch. All that shit is just dumping extra fat and calories into you, and cut that shit out.
Yep, that's all you gotta do. That's it. Richard says, real women accept the ideal man is the size of a munchkin in the lollipop guild. You might not want to admit it, but it's peak performance. Nice. Thank you, Richard. Minor Zircon says, Law Pope, yo, Camelot, take the shirt off. Beautiful. Oh, that's gonna happen really soon, actually. Samantha says, I've been asked, big girls, why don't I just love myself as is? I'm losing weight because I do love myself. And other women, this is kind of unrelated, but related to what you're saying. Other women will always actively give other women intentionally bad advice to keep them down. That's how women operate in like the social society. Women will intentionally give other women extremely bad advice to try to tear them down, to lift other ones up. It's how they're competitive in nature, whereas men are competitive physically. That's why men that know each other for a long time can get drunk, get in a fist fight, and then shake hands after as they're bleeding and then go back to what they're doing. Whereas women will hate other women for the rest of their life. Dude, if I talk to I could message my ex-wife right now and say one name of a woman that tried to kind of come in between me and her, like in fucking 2011.
Yeah.
I could say that name. I could message that to her, that one name with zero context. I haven't talked to her in like 8 months, by the way. And she would be like, I fucking hate that bitch. That's what she would reply with.
Yeah.
I don't hold any hate towards anybody like for a long period. Like it's like a day. And even if I don't like a person, I just distance myself. I don't actively hate them. Like in my mind, it's crazy to me. So yeah, if I was you, if you are a woman, never take advice from other women. Never. And I swear, please Jesus, never confide in your mother or your sister or your female friends in relationship advice, because it will always be leave your husband. Don't fucking do that shit. Ask your dude friends or ask a therapist that is not a female. Thank you, Brent Wolf. Breaking news, Elon challenged Zuck to a cage match and Zuck accepted. Are you sure? Is that real?
I don't know.
That would be great. That would be fantastic, Brent. I'm pretty sure Elon would kill him. Thank you, Brent Wolf. Elon's a big motherfucker. Thank you so much, Brent Wolf. I love you. Kyle Brockoville says, I walk 20 miles a night at my job. I was 300 6 months ago. Jesus Christ, bro.
Whew, 20 miles of walking. Damn.
Speaking of being 300 6 months ago, the culprit, Fat Shame. Hell yes. With the pink, delicious boy. Get on it. Diggity doggone it. No, dude. And back to something real quick, so I can just touch on it real quick, because the reason I say that is the thing about women and getting advice from other women. I was talking to one of my female friends yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
And she's going through some shit. And she's kind of confused about her dude, and they're kind of, they're just having a little spit. I get it. Been together for a long time. And she said she talked to her mom, and her mom was quite literally like, he's a piece of shit. He's awful. You need to leave him. You need to focus on yourself. Blah, 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 blah. By the way, she can't take care of herself, and she doesn't have enough money, but it's fine. And she's like, you need to leave him and do all this and this and this. And of course, and she's told me her other female friends have been telling her to divorce him for like a year. And what's the context? She's like, well, I don't feel like he does enough, and like he doesn't compliment me all the time. And I'm like, men don't do that generally. They show their affection in other ways, like making sure you don't fucking die and your mortgage is paid. But it's fine. Thank you, culprit. I love you, Fat Shame. Get on it, diggity doggone it. Johan, please tell me you should nick my Hitler meme. Yeah, so we talked about Hitler the other day in Auschwitz, and everybody started making memes about Hitler, and he's like,
God damn it.
It's like jacked, and it's just Hitler. And I was like, is this offensive? And I asked all the Jewish people in my chat, and they were totally cool with it, so it worked. Thank you, Johan. Maiden Iron said, I started going to the gym in May. I've lost 5 pounds, but I started with 40 pounds on the leg press. I can leg press 100 pounds now. I feel great. Congratulations, baby. I'm proud of you. Hell yeah, I made an iron. Get the hell on it. Diggity doggone it. Lily, did you guys see the kid who lost in court about wearing his There Are Only Two Genders t-shirts? I have not.
Yep.
I will say I grew up in a rural ass Alabama town, and we were not allowed to wear anything that could be construed as like political to my school when I was like a freaking middle schooler and a high schooler. And it was like a rural ass redneck town. And you could not wear, you could wear an American flag shirt, obviously, but you couldn't wear like, you know, F star, like asterisk, like Hillary Clinton, or you couldn't like have political slogans on shirts and shit. They make you change it or turn it inside out. So
schools must honor First Amendment rights, but they are allowed to infringe on your First Amendment so long as the speech is not conducive to their the basic purpose of promoting a safe place for education. So the rationale, probably, I haven't read the ruling, but I can go ahead and tell you what it probably is that that shirt would interfere with creating a conducive learning environment because it would create political and derisive discourse between groups of people and not let the teacher actually teach the subject at hand. Is that true? Probably not, but that's the reasoning that they would be able to give for that ruling. That's the Supreme Court basis and has been forever. And I kind of disagree with it, but that's where we are.
Yeah. Thank you, Lily Smith. Cars and Debt says MREs are a good dieting tool, nutritious and known cows. Yeah, but like a lot of them are bad. Now, granted, it might have been just the ones I tried, but thank you, Cars and Depths. I appreciate you. If anybody doesn't know, an MRE is military supplied meals, and they come in like little packets, and you add water, and it's like mac and cheese. And
that chemical cooked hot dog's kind of fucking gross, though.
Yeah, they're some of them are pretty good, but some of them are pretty bad. I've tried like 50 different kinds. Oregon Trail said, I once sent Cody a tweet of my before and after. Took a decade. Want to also say sugar-free gum as abspressants has calorie creep. Met a dude who chewed 100 calories a day. 5 calories a stick. Jesus Christ, 100. That's like 20 freaking gum sticks.
That's a lot of gum.
Thank you, Oregon. I love you. Shredder on Rumble says, loving the real talk on weight. Shirts feel a size smaller than this time last year. And already cut a quick 5 just through portion control. You can survive and thrive on a fewer calories. Hell yeah. And Southie on Rumble with a $20 Rumble rant says, my uncle was an ER doctor. He told me a story of a fat lady. He told me, if there is one of the Nazis proved was if you don't eat, you will lose. If there's one thing Nazis proved, if you don't eat, you will lose weight. If you don't drink, if you don't eat. Yeah, exactly. You will. And that's the thing is it's people get offended by that too. It's like people will be like, it's my genetics to be fat. No, it's not. It might be your genetics to retain weight. Or maybe it's a little bit harder for you to lose weight. But that's because you fall in the endomorph, ectomorph, mesomorph category. So where I'm a fat dude, right? But I can also get jacked as shit. Whereas I have skinny friends that have to eat like 4,000 calories and work out 7 days a week to retain muscle mass. And if they take a break, they lose 10 pounds.
That's how I was before I was like 33.
Yeah, it's wild. I have friends that are sticks and they can't, there's nothing they can do. Right. So that's just how it is. And sometimes I'm thankful that I'm a fat dude because I can gain weight fast, muscle mass weight. I can get fucking like real fast. Whereas I have friends that, dude, they took like a month off and they look like they did before they started working out, and they've been working out for years. So that's just how it is, man. That's just how it is. It's a terrible world we live in. So much so that we're going to do Naked Snake. Can you guys do me a favor and like the show? We're 250 likes away from goal. We're 100 away from Fight Milk. I appreciate you guys so much for all your love and kindness on this beautiful stream with Mr. REKIETA. If you are not aware, Nick will have a show at 11 Central, midnight Eastern, right after this. So don't be late. It's coming right at your face. So make sure. What? Frank? Oh, I thought it said Frank Hassel. I was like, what the fuck? That's a different person. So don't miss that because it's called Pistol Braces, Idiot Minnesota Senator, and I can't see the rest.
Transgender teachers. We got the mayor of Minneapolis making an ass of himself. We've got that CNN producer who just got sentenced to a bunch of years in prison for being a fucking disgusting pedophile. We're talking about all that shit.
Oh, and speaking of disgusting pedophiles, Let me cover this real quick because I totally forgot about this. So this is going to blow your asshole out the water. So in Oregon, a Target employee allegedly filmed a mom and a 4-year-old in a bathroom. By the way, says the Target employee is facing charges for an invasion of privacy after allegedly filming a mom and her 4-year-old inside a bathroom at the local store. The mom said she feels compelled to share her experience. The family said it happened at the Target on Southeast Sunnyside Road in Clackamas. They said they don't feel enough was done to help protect them. The mom said it completely changed who I am to the core. The day after, I did not get a call from the store to apologize or to ask how my family was doing. Instead, I got a call from a third-party insurance company asking to talk about the incident to get a report from me. I don't know what they're going to ask me, but I could only assume they're trying to get me to sign something to silence myself. They also said the DA was very limited in their abilities to hold the defendant accountable. So by filing this lawsuit, by naming him, we're hoping to not hold him accountable, but also his employer. The reason we had to file this lawsuit is because the plaintiff came to us. Target had done nothing. They didn't apologize. They didn't accept responsibility. In fact, the defendant, Connor James Barton, went back to working on the floor in a Santa hat like nothing happened. And
gross,
dude, it's crazy to me because not only did that happen, but there's a case update to this. Target never fired this guy after this happened. Instead, Target went on the offensive, demanding the victim's family turn over the 4-year-old's preschool records, prescriptions, and mental health records. And Target denies all responsibility from this.
Why?
You can see right here. It says Target request number 1, minor's son's records from any school, college, vocational education program. Target request number 3, all mental health records of plaintiff and minor son. Target request 4 is all documents related to any prescription medication taken by the plaintiff or minor son. And so the reason I'm talking about this is because this is actually extremely common in big box stores. Walmart is like the freaking Catholic Church. When a man at Walmart that's been working there and has tenure, like assaults a female associate or a customer, they will wait until 10 occurrences happen, and then they'll just transfer them to the store across the city.
Yeah.
Dude, I worked for a company that was contracted out by Walmart before they were bought by them as a district manager. I knew of like a dozen dudes that had did that, and they were just transferred across the city to a different Walmart that I also had under me. So I don't know why that's the policy, but that's just how it is in these big box stores. And you can see right here with Target, they're doing the same shit. So it's disgusting. Absolutely.
Yeah. Now those questions in regards to the mom would be relevant, like mental health records, stuff like that, because like, look, if someone's suing you, you're going to want to say, is this person fucking insane? Right. Like you want to be able to see if the person's on level, but the school records of the kid, that's some weird shit. Like asking for the academic stuff of a 4-year-old is, and they probably just have an automatic list of interrogatories that they sent out, but some lawyer for Target should have gone, well, let's curate this a little bit because this is a fucked up incident and we got to be really careful. Instead, they're just like, nope, balls out, let's go.
Yeah. What I would do if I was involved in Target's leadership and executive team is I would reach out to the woman personally, and then I would pay them off, and I would make sure the associate was as far away from Target as possible. But for some reason they don't do that, and I don't really understand why. It's been a mystery to me when I read about stories like this from Target and Walmart. I'm like, why are they not just doing what they need to do? Because like they have evidence. You can look into priors. I mean, there was a story recently where a Hilton hotel manager would sneak into like guest rooms at 3 and 4 a.m. and suck on their toes, and he finally got caught. And of course, he was terminated. And there's a lawsuit against Hilton Hotels right now. The guy...
Wish I would have stayed there.
Yeah, dude. I'm like, why did that happen to me? No, but this guy had a criminal record, a long one. And he also had served like a long time for manslaughter. And if you just look at him, you can tell he sucked toes.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
You want to see a picture of him real quick? I'm going to show you a picture. Yeah, I got it. His name is David Patrick Mill. And this is what he looks like. And if you saw this man and did not realize that he sucked toes, I don't know what's wrong with you. But that man sucks toes.
That man's jaw is shaped for toes.
Yeah, dude, he sucked toes so good that people were slapping him, and it made his face stay that way.
Yeah.
God.
Oh my God.
That's if I've ever seen one.
Hideous.
God. So yeah, that happened in Nashville, by the way. I'll have a video about that Friday. It's gonna be fun. So let's read this last super chat, and then we're gonna do Naked Snake. I have almost 15 pounds in a month, had pre-diabetic, diabetic symptoms, so I dropped sugar completely, and now eat under 1,500 calories a day. You can do it. And you hear from all these people that you can do it. Zero empathy. There's people right beside you in real life, like, dude, I did it. And those people like Lizzo were still like, well, I can't. It's not possible for me. It's like, no, you just don't want the accountability behind it. That's what it is. Right? Like, and if you're a woman, I understand, because that's how women are built. No accountability for any situation. But men, you should be losing your weight.
The amount of people like doing the fat apologetic whenever anyone's like, well, here's how you can lose weight. And they're like, no, it can't be done that way. It's like, have you tried it?
Of course
like, have you tried dropping to 1,500 calories a day? Because if you just try it, I have an interesting theory about your results.
Yeah, they do it for 3 days, and then they're like, well, I'm not seeing any results. I'm done. And then they'll do that weird like stages of grief where they're like 3 or 4 days in, they're like, you know what? Why should I care? I'm happy when I eat. Why should I care? And they just get fat as fuck. They just eat. They'll even eat even harder as a result of the dieting.
Yep.
All right, boys. 170 likes from goal. It's Naked Snake time for the 178th stream in a row. It never stops, boys. The Naked Snake is unrivaled. It never stops, boys. Get the hell on it, doggone it. Let's go. I appreciate you guys so much for all your love. It's, I think, the 8th time Nick's done it with me. I think. Something like that.
Well, except for the times we don't talk about.
Well, that's why it's only 8. It's not 37. Right. Thank you so much, everybody. Want to give a special shout out real quick to Fluffy Pencil and Jerk Off Juggernaut for the 2 red boys tonight. Huge drops. And of course, everybody else. You guys know who you are. If I missed your super chat, I probably missed 1 or 2. I apologize. I'm a bad person. I love you. Let me put my bandana on. 2 seconds.
My little Jew hat clip is gone, so my Jew hat's gonna fall off.
Here we go, boys. All ready? Look at this tan line.
Yeah, no shit.
God. It's my time.
Forced to be outside.
There be nobody else. Rudy Toot. I appreciate you, my friend. Cry. It's the way I fly to you. Oh my God. Ooh, I'm still in a dream. Say REKIETA. Here we go. It's time. Let's do this.
Gonna titty bounce.
Oh my God. Chris Benoit, Sonia Lysette, everybody's coming in. Thank you so much for all your love. You guys are going to this hell. Did you know, Nick, that every time we do this, it's on a clip channel? Like,
Yep.
There's like 7 of these.
Every time.
And they're like, fortunately, the comments are usually really nice for these. I don't know why.
Maybe for you.
Thank God. Thank God. I appreciate you guys so much. Love you. You guys are goated as hell. We're going to raid Nick's stream.
Oh my God.
So he's got 20 minutes, 25 minutes till live. He'll be late and gay, so it could be 35. So we're going to rate it so you're in the pre-stream, so you're already there. Just like his show. Subscribe to his channel if you're not. And don't be a bitch. Don't be a stranger. Join his locals. Give him some love. Give him a kiss on his pee-pee. He loves that. Get the hell on it, diggity on it. Here we go. Last time. Amazing. Thank you guys so much for all your support. and Nick for coming on today.
Yeah, man.
It was less short notice though. It was like 4 days planned.
Yeah. And I gave you the well, I'll probably be there.
Yeah,
unless I'm not.
Yeah.
Dude, I'm just glad it wasn't yesterday because yesterday I was planning on being home. I got held up for like 6 hours. It was a fucking disaster.
What are you, just in traffic?
No, it's had some appointments and fucking just late. Not me. I was on time. Everybody else is late. And everything just got compounded. It was, it was a shit show.
Don't you love that shit when it's like, be here at 4, and then you get here and then it's like 4:30 and you're just sitting there waiting, like, when are we going to start? I'm like, you're the one that set up the appointment.
Yep.
Take me back.
I love the doctor. Be here 15 minutes early. Then you wait 20 minutes past your appointment time.
Yeah. Every single time, dude.
Yeah.
Every single time. Make sure you guys lock the damn show. We're 130 away from the goal of locks. If you're not locked it right now, press it right now. Do it. Stop being a bitch. I love you. I appreciate you guys so much. We're going to raid my boy stream right now. Get the hell on it, doggone it. And I appreciate you, Nick. New video Friday. And if you have not seen my GameStop video from yesterday, it is popping off. The algorithm loves it. Give it some love. Sparkle Fart's mad about it in the chat, but it's fine. Sparkle Fart's a bitch. Ain't that right, Sparkle Fart? He said in the chat earlier, he was like, I heard Camelot stole a bunch, and that's why he got fired at GameStop. And I'm like, you just make shit up? You make shit? Like, stealing shit? But what am I going to steal? Some figures? Ain't nothing worth at GameStop. I'm going to steal after 11 years at GameStop? Nah, dude.
There's a rumor that I did get fired from a bank after 3 days, but the rumor was that I stole money out of the cash drawer. I was like, you realize that I went on to work for multiple financial institutions after that. Like, that couldn't happen if I had stolen money from a bank, you fucking idiot.
No, see, what actually happened is they hired Nick because they thought he was Jewish and they found out he wasn't. Then they fired him.
That's true. That's true. No, a funny story. I was late on my 3rd day to work, and they decided to fire me for it. And they were pissed off that I didn't bring my training manual with me. And I was like, I completed the 2-week training in 2 days. Because I had worked at a bank already. I knew all the fucking laws.
Yeah.
I'm like, I did all the training. I didn't think you'd need me to bring the manual. I figured I'd just do work instead of sitting around getting paid. And they're like, that's a poor work ethic. Like, are you fucking kidding? And yeah, I was 10 minutes late because it was traffic on a route I'd only driven twice before that I didn't know about. So that was fun. And yeah, it was good times. It was really, really fun being fired for that. But that somehow turned into I stole money from the bank, and it was like, well, I mean, okay, I guess I wish I would have stolen more.
People just make up shit. Like, I literally showed in a video from like 3 years ago, like the unemployment document showing the reason for my unemployment like denied, and it said time card fraud, which is what I said I was fired for, because they said they claimed that me sitting at my manager's desk as a store manager before the store opened doing schedules and stuff constituted a break. Therefore, I was stealing hours. That's why they were going to terminate me. Yep. Even though every store manager has always done that for years. I mean, you can go to a GameStop right now and the store manager's probably sitting in his desk in the back doing something. So like, and I have showed the document, and they're still like, yeah, he harassed people and he killed a baby. And I'm like, what the fuck? What, you just make shit up? Come on now, baby.
Yep. It's the internet. Like, someone would go on the internet and just lie.
Crazy.
Silly.
Can't believe that shit.
Who would do that?
Thank you, Jessica, for the money. Come all over the sheet. YouTube trying to cock block me. That's what they do, baby. That's what they do. Thank you, Jessica. Last one of the night. Helena, just now joining. I love you. I'm sorry that we're getting off here. It is a little early today.
I'm not sorry we're getting off.
A little early today. Like to stream on the way out. I'll see you guys over on Nick's show. Get the hell on it. Doggone. Oh, fuck, Michael. Are you serious?
God damn it, Michael.
I'm trying to leave, Michael. What are you doing? All right, Michael. He says, started a diet and a workout routine in March, and I'm down 248 from 314. Still a long way to go, but I'm already feeling a lot better. Screw fat acceptance and things. Dude, I'm so glad that there's a turnaround. I'm so glad it's starting to change, man. Hell yeah, dude, good on you. Hell
guys, yeah. March to June, 60 pounds. 60 pounds. You can do it too. You can lose weight. Stop eating.
That's it. That's literally it.
Then start working out.
90% diet, 10% exercise. It's that damn easy. Get the hell on it, doggone it. Love you guys. Appreciate you guys. Like the stream on the way out. And I'll see you guys Saturday with Blabs, the collector. It's going to be fun. Get the hell on it, doggone it. Love me some Blabs. Slaglust, fuck yourself. I'm out. Love you. Look at these sons of bitches. I got fired from GameStop. We're rumbling out and watching Melanie Mac. That is true. That's actually really what happened. I love you, Slaglust. Get on it. Dog on it with a Goomba. Bye. Peace.